Hello, football fans, and welcome inside Starlight Stadium for today's Week 11 BCFC action between the visiting VI Raiders and the West Shore Rebels. Alongside BC Football Hall of Famer Paul Short, I'm Tyler Bennett, and Paul, the West Shore Rebels on a two-game slide. What do you think they need to do to get out of the funk, and what's caused them to hit the road bump at this point in the season?
Probably injuries. You know, there's Zion Brown has been down, Carter Williams has been down, offensive linemen have been down. I think if they can establish a running game tonight, because they're the top defense against the pass and the run in the league, and if they can get their run game going, I think that's going to allow Ethan Pickard to really start to throw the ball with a bit more confidence, because he hasn't really struggled, but he just doesn't have that same oomph that he had at the start.
And the VI Raiders coming off a big win against Kamloops at home last week. What were some of the keys to success that they had last week that they should try and keep on going this week against the Rebels?
Sadler Smith, back at quarterback. He had a pretty good game, and just his energy on the field and his leadership, the kids will rally around him. And Kamloops, unfortunately, is on a slide a little bit, and the Raiders were kind of due for that, but Sadler was the guy that I thought propelled them to say, let's go and win this game.
Now, not really playoff implications on this game, but can definitely determine home field advantage. The Rebels looking on the outside, looking in right now for home playoff game. Does that play into their mindset at all in this game in terms of how they play this game?
I would think so. The only concern I would think that the coaches have is them looking past the Raiders tonight to the Rams game next week. But with Chilliwack defeating the Rams last week, that really opened the door for the Rebels to take second place behind the Sun, but that's going to obviously involve a win next week as well. So, but this is the start. This could be something that gets them back off the ground after losing two in a row.
It's the Rebels and the Raiders. That's coming up next. Well, Paul, the coin toss has been decided. We're just now waiting for final confirmation, but these teams getting ready to go here at Starlight Stadium. It's the final home game here for the Rebels at Starlight. It's our final nightcap of the season here, 7 p.m. start, and what a way to do it. It's our third Island Derby of the season, and the Rebels making to look at 3-0, a clean sweep of the VI Raiders.
Yeah, and it's that would make it 9 in a row over the Raiders, and the Rebels over the last 8 games have had a ton of success against the Raiders, outscoring them. I think it's 441 to 75 or something like that. So it's the Rebels are definitely capable. The Raiders, they're a young team. They're rebuilding, if you will. It's taking some time, but it's a big game for the Rebels. They have to win this one, at least play well to propel them in the next week against the Rams. And with Chilliwack being defeated tonight by the Okanagan Sun, that'll probably win next week by the Rebels over the Rams. It would set up a semifinal match between the Valley Huskers and the West Shore Rebels here at West Shore.
And we are underway at Starlight Stadium as the Raiders kick this one back, and it is going to be the Rebels returning, going up the right side, and a quick tackle there. Not a lot of return to be had, as that was number 16 on the Rebels making the return, and it will be Rebels football near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Isaiah Booten, he tried to get to the outside, but the Raiders converged pretty good. It's good coverage, and that's what the Raiders did last week as well, is they had really good coverage on their special teams, and it's something that they're obviously hoping to continue tonight, and it's a task ahead.
Ethan Pickard and the Rebels offense stifled against the Okanagan Sun last week on the road in the Apple Bowl, looking to change things here. An empty backfield set, and that's Tristus Ramus Aravallo on the right side. And he is going to get a few yards wearing Giroy Simon's old number 81. Gain of about 4, and that's going to make it second down.
That might be a first down. I'm just looking in. Was there a flag down? No. Almost, yes. Pickup of 9 yards. It's a good start. I'm not sure what the officials why they're calling a timeout on this, unless there was a flag.
And officials conjugating there. As we mentioned, the Rebels coming off 2 straight losses to Langley here, 23-10, and then a 24-10 loss against the Okanagan Sun on the road last week, as that penalty was declined. So that makes it second and very short here for the Rebels.
You might see the Rebels try to put something up deep, because they do have a 3rd and short if necessary to
Here's a direct snap that goes terribly wrong for the Rebels as Ryan Vincent got under center but lost the ball, and that's going to be a loss of yardage there on second down, and that makes it 3rd and 2. So tried the sneak play there, and that doesn't work. So now decision time for the Rebels. Looks like they're going to gamble here early on a 3rd and short in their own territory.
Yeah, that was tried to whip that around on the jet sweep, it's direct snap, but just the timing got turnover and downs here. That was a good defensive play. That was by number 98 on the Raiders. That's Bevan Amar, and just something that the Rebels have been struggling with over the last couple games. The 2 losses they had trouble on the O-line, and that's an area where they've had some injuries, and they want that to come haunt you tonight.
So a tough first possession for the Rebels on offense, and now the Raiders take over in great field position. And here come the VI Raiders.
And they got Sadler Smith flanked out here at the bottom of the screen. And
here's a direct snap, and that is going to be a huge loss of yardage as Manny Fatu in the backfield makes a tackle, as that was a direct snap to Ruben Bonsu. And another play that just does not work out, and the Raiders now looking at 2nd and very long.
And there was a penalty on the play. I'm not sure. Looks like the Rebels are walking backwards. Offside on the Rebels, so that play will be nullified and be 1st and 5 for the Raiders.
And penalties have been a big issue for the Rebels in the last few weeks, a big cause for concern, and really, if you're thinking about it, Paul, a big reason why they've gone on this 2-game slide.
Yeah, they've always been one of the team that has led the league in penalties, and this year I believe they're 17. I've got it written here somewhere, 17 for 172 a game, that was a nice pass to Bonsu.
And that one broken up by Ben Matai in coverage, and Sadler Smith looking for his top receiver early, can't connect, and it's going to be 2nd down and 5.
But yeah, penalties is something the Rebels have to try to clean up as playoffs approach, and because the teams are going to be playing pretty good ball, and you don't want to give free yards away.
So 2nd and 5. Sadler Smith once again on the far side of the football field. So let's see what happens here. Is it's going to be a direct snap, and that one, I don't know if that's going to be enough yardage there, Paul, that's Rondé Lyle under center, taking the direct snap and trying to get a first, but it looks like the Raiders going to try and kick a field goal here for the first points of the football game.
Yeah, I'm kind of puzzled at the play selection for the Raiders to start this game, and the penalty against the Rebels, helped them to stay on the football field, but yeah, that's a puzzlement to me.
So this will be Sterling Henry looking to kick this one from about the 30.
Yeah, Sterling is 2 for 6 on field goals, and if he gets this one, it'll be his longest of the year. His longest up to this point is 28.
Here comes the snap. Good hold, and Sterling Henry is going to kick this one through the upright, so the first points of this football game belong to the VI Raiders. They take a 3-0 lead, and that's something they did not achieve in their last meeting as the Rebels shut them out 45-0. So good sign here for the Raiders. They get some points and take an early lead in this football game.
Yeah, and I think anytime you're on the road, when you get the points first, you're going to take them, and then you hope that everybody kind of settles in and play some football and do your job. That's the basics what coaches teach is just do your job.
So a 3-0 Raiders lead, and the Rebels offense electing to take this ball at the 35. And just to finish our thought on the last drive, Ethan Picard against Okanagan, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and only 90 yards passing. So he's really looking to get that confidence back here today on first down. He's going to pass, and that's going to be intercepted by Kaya Saunders. And what a first couple of drives here for the Raiders, and the Rebels offense continuing to not find their footing, and the Raiders once again taking over in enemy field position.
Again, I'm not puzzled at the throw. The throw was a little bit underthrown, obviously, but I find you turn the ball over on downs, and I thought they would have come out and tried to establish Ryan Vincent, get the ball on the ground, pound it away a bit, just get the confidence up, get everybody's feet back in the game and their heads back in the game.
Sadler Smith not under center again. He is on the far side of the football field, so interesting play calls again from the Raiders. It's another direct snap and a good gain there up the middle as once again it's Rondé Lyle, number 15, and he looks like he's in a bit of pain after taking that tackle, and he's going to need to sub off here, I believe.
Yeah, I think he took that on the hip for sure.
He is going to go down here, and that's going to cause an injury timeout here, and we'll see it on the replay. Interesting use of Sadler Smith, but keep in mind the last time these two teams played, I think Merrick Philippek was under center, and Sadler Smith didn't play, I think, against the Rebels in that 45-0 game up at NDSS.
Yeah, he was hurt. He had hurt his shoulder the first game here against the Rebels earlier in the season, and he was just starting to come back, and they felt, well, we got to need him to beat the teams below us so we can, at least get some wins in that. But last week they ran this play a lot where they flanked Sadler out, and they had really good success with it against the Broncos. But Rebels defense is a whole different animal. They're a lot quicker, and they understand the leverage part of it.
And Sadler Smith had a rough go against the Rebels the first time around. Very frustrated. He had to be subbed out in the fourth quarter. So we'll see if he can have some more success this time around. And on first down, Sadler Smith getting rushed, and he's going to be brought down. That's a huge sack by Ted Wyndham Jr. That's a huge loss of yardage, and the Raiders going to have to kick this football away.
Yeah, Ted's the leading sack getter in the BCFC, and he just got his 6th for the season. But again, Sadler turned. We knew where he was going, but Ted said, no, I'm going to come the other way, and when you turn around, you're going to see me, but it's going to be like a truck coming downhill, so be prepared.
So 3rd and very long, and the Raiders going to kick this ball away. And Chase Halawadi, I believe, is going to be the one that kicks this ball away. And kick is up. And sorry, that's Andrew Matz that made that kick, and now the Rebels going to return this one, and that's number 19 for the Rebels making that return. Only got a couple yards before he's taken down, as the Rebels really going deep into the well for the kick return team here, as that's another defensive back. That's Aiden Bytel making the return. And one of the things with the Rebels this year is injuries have really caught up to them. A lot of their veteran key players like Cody McMahon, Zion Brown, Carter Williams, who was explosive at the start of the year, all going down. It's now going down to next man up mentality here for the Rebels at this juncture in the season.
They really are. And you have to, the coach, they carry a big roster, so there's kids that can come in and should be able to step in and continue on.
Here is Chris McClarty up the middle, and that's an electric run, gain of about 20. And for the first time in this football game, the Rebels are in Raider territory.
Yeah, it was a really nice run, and it was a fake to Ryan Vincent as he moved out to his left, and Chris just ran right up the middle. He had good blocking. He's hurt a little bit here, but that's maybe what the Rebels needed, just something to settle them down a little bit, get some confidence around them, and they get a big run. Now they're already in Raiders territory, so it's one of those things that you'll try to capitalize in this drive.
And Chris McClarty, done a lot of kick returns this year, also been good on the ground and in the air, kind of a multi-tool player. Looks like he's going to be okay, but going to need a few snaps off. So good to see him go off on his own power, and now it's 1st and 10 in Raider territory. And Picard going to hand this one off to Ryan Vincent on first down, and here comes Ryan Vincent up the middle. Another big gain, so maybe it's time to go to the run if you're the Rebels. That's another gain of about 15. That moves the chains. Rebels first down.
Well, I wouldn't change the attack here. They're just pushing the Raiders all over the field on these two plays they've ran, and do it again. Do it again. Keep pounding the ball. Pound the ball.
And the Rebels getting their play call here as they continue this drive. Picard's got 2 running backs to choose from in the backfield. Takes the snap, hands it off again to Ryan Vincent, looking to cut the edge on the right side. Will he get around? And he will be brought down right at the corner of the edge. There is a flag on the play, as that's Denzel Iggy Hahn making the tackle. We'll wait and see what this flag is, but it looks like it might be offside Rebels.
It was holding, I thought I saw that signal. So that'll push the Rebel. I would suspect they'll push them back the 10 yards. Yeah, it was a hold just at the corner, and that allowed Brian to to get around the corner, but the Raiders converged pretty quick to limit that gain.
So
First down.
Kwame Franklin. And Kwame Franklin, one of the veteran leaders. We'll see if Picard can get some yardage through the air to number 11 today. So it's now 1st and 20. It's a big penalty to overcome here, and Picard on the draw play to Vincent on the ground. He's still going to get some pretty good yardage. It's a gain of about, I'd say, 11 there. So good draw play on 1st down, and that brings up now 2nd and 10 as Ryan Vincent racking up the yards early.
Yeah, and again, it's a middle run that's picking up the 10 to 12-yard runs that the Rebels have had. And so calling for their field goal team to be ready to go. But a 2nd and 9, they're in a position now where they love to throw the football in this position, but the way they've been running, you might see them run, or a good fake here.
Here is Picard. He's going to throw into coverage, and that is overthrown over Kwame Franklin and deflected incomplete.
Yeah, it was Savion Townsend, I think it was, would almost got his hands on that.
I think that's Daniel Igihone, actually, number 6,
you're
who
right.
was close in coverage there. So another tough one here, but the Rebels offense still on the field here, so we might be in gamble territory already here for the Rebels as Picard and company going to stay out here on 3rd and 8, and the Raiders sideline gets jacked up to try and get the stop, and Picard gets the snap, and he's rolling immediately. Here comes the pressure. He gets it off in time, and it doesn't look like the Rebels are going to have enough for the 1st down. It's going to be a turnover on downs as Picard was flushed out of the pocket pretty much at the moment the ball was snapped, and no points for that drive for the Rebels.
Yeah, and it was all the pressure coming from the right there, number 44, I believe it was. Got in there and put the pressure on Ethan. Didn't give Ethan a chance to set his feet, to throw the ball, get his hips around. And again, the Raiders' defensive backs converge pretty quick to limit that gain and for a turnover and downs. And a little surprised at the way the Rebels are playing right now, with gambling like as quickly as they are this early in the game. And
here's a 1st down play for the Raiders. It's a run, and there's going to be about 4 Rebels jerseys on top of them, but there's a flag, which could be unnecessary roughness on the Rebels. We'll have to wait and see there, but not a lot of running room there, and that was Owen Giancola. So that is going to push the Raiders' drive forward.
Yeah, it was only a gain of 2. Giancola, was struggling. He was working hard. He kept his legs going. And Rebels, like I said earlier, the Rebels' defense really swarms well to the football. But again,
number 33 on the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
It's a defense that, no, I thought that was another flag, sorry. Just somebody threw a flag back to the official. It was Seth Beckwith that got that penalty for face masking. But again, they had him in a 2nd down and long, and a penalty puts him in a 1st down.
So another trick play here by the Raiders. Sadler Smith not under center. He is on the far side of the field, and Rondé Lyle, number 15, again under center, so it could be another direct snap, and indeed it is, and the Rebels just waiting for him to get the football at this point, and that's going to be a limited gain, and that's going to bring down 2nd and long.
Yeah, again, I'm kind of surprised that you got, in my opinion, one of the better passers in the BCFC at number 12, Sadler Smith, and you're using him as a decoy, and puzzled at that. And again, that same play, it hasn't been successful so far as they've run it.
So 2nd and 8. Ball spotted just short of midfield. And this time Sadler Smith is under center. He's got 2 receiving backs with him. And he's going to take the snap. Here comes the pressure. He's going to throw in the pocket, looking deep. And it is going to be caught. No, it's not. Dropped by Paul Romanoff right at the last second, as he was deep downfield but just couldn't rein it in, and the Raiders going to have to punt this one away on almost what was an explosive play.
Yeah, I got in behind Bronson Pfeiffer, number 6, and had the pass was right there. It was a good pass by Smith, but unfortunately Paul couldn't squeeze it as he was heading down to the ground. And under the rules, you got to survive contact. And So a little bonus for the Rebels on that one, but the Raiders are in a little bit better position with that on the turnover and downs prior to this drive to be able to punt the football away.
Andrew Matz kicks this one high but not very deep. And this one is going to be returned by Aiden Bytel if he can find it within the feet. Hold on. The Raiders have the football, but I don't think they get to keep it.
No, I think, well, they were definitely going to get a no flags penalty. And even if a Rebel did touch it and it became a loose ball, because they're within the restraining zone, it's going to be retained by the Rebels with a 5-yard penalty added to it.
We'll wait and see there, but Aiden Bytel, looks like it did hit Rebel foot there that caused the misdirection.
5 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Yeah, so just because of the no yards, Rebels maintain possession. So not a bad starting point for them on their own 40-yard line, but see, hopefully they open this drive on the ground. You know, again, establish something. Haven't had success throwing the football at this point, and they had 2 turnovers on downs plus an interception. So that's 3 turnovers here. We're only 8 minutes into the first quarter.
Here is a first down screen pass to Tristan Ramus-Aravallo, and that's going to be a good gain of about 8 on the screen pass, and that's going to bring up 2nd and short.
Yeah, it was a good little play. They had the 2 other receivers blocking for him right away, and again, the Raiders, I'm impressed the way how mobile they are on defensively tonight. They're, I wouldn't say fired up, but they're playing their positions quite well.
So 2nd and short. Picard going to throw this one on an empty backfield set, and it is going to be wide and incomplete as he was looking for Lyndon Williams, and Ethan Picard just doesn't look comfortable in the pocket right now, Paul.
Well, I think over the last couple of games against the Sun last week and the Rams the week before, he got pressured. He didn't really get sacked a lot, but he took a lot of pressure, and I think I don't say his confidence is lacking, but sometimes your mind is saying, okay, get out of the way, keep your feet moving, but when you see the ball, your feet are still moving, so you don't have a chance to really put everything into it.
Here is John Boubard on 3rd down, and he's got enough yardage and then some on the ground as John Boubard gets about 12, maybe 15 yards. That moves the chains. It's a Rebels first down.
Yeah, again, a 3rd down gamble. This one was successful. The other 2 were not, but it was a nice run here by Boubard. They just pulled the backside guard. He got a good kick-out block on the linebacker, and then it's all up to John just to keep your legs moving, get your shoulders north and south, and get it what you can. But the most important part was getting that first down first.
Rebels with another empty backfield set. Picard going to throw this one looking downfield, and it is going to be caught. Tristan Ramus-Aravallo, he's got a lane, and he is going to be brought down near the 10-yard line as Picard gets his first long-range hookup of the game, and it's to Tristan Ramus-Aravallo for a big Rebels first down.
Well, Picard seemed to be a little more comfortable in the pocket there. As you can see on the replay, he's able to set his feet and step into the throw, and it was a very nice pass, and his favorite target tonight. I think that's his 3rd reception this evening.
So here is the Rebels in the red zone. And on first down, they're going to go to Boubard up the middle. And for the first time tonight, I believe, the Raiders going to get a stop and stuff the middle. It's only a short gain on first down.
Yeah, he tried to cut back, and the backside flow cut down the holes, and nowhere to go. But he did pick up about 3.5 yards, and puts the Rebels in one of those downs that you can run or you can throw. And this close to the goal line, I would suspect that Coach Townsend saying we're throwing the football.
Here is 2nd down. Picard going to roll out of the pocket, and there's going to be a flag against the Rebels here, so it's caught. But hold on.
It's going to be a hold.
I don't believe that that's going to work out.
Yeah, it's a hold.
So it's going to come back. So all that for naught. It's going to be 2nd down and very long now.
Well, Ethan looked pretty comfortable there. He got flushed out of the pocket, but as you can see on the replay, as he started to move, he got his shoulders around, his hips around to make a really nice pass that resulted in a touchdown, but unfortunately the penalty on the right tackle brought it back.
Number 86 on the offense, 10 yards, replay 2nd down.
And again, injuries have played a big role against, everyone on the Rebels on all facets, but their O-line and D-line especially have taken a big hit in the last few weeks.
Really big hit. And it's just this time of year. This is their ninth game of the season, and all the teams are experiencing injuries. But the Rebels, for some reason, it's been key guys that have been hurt. But they've still been able to maintain their winning record and still in position to host a playoff game.
And here is a screen pass
to
nice
Ryan
tackle. Vincent, and a great tackle there, as that is Savion Townsend, number 11, on the Raiders, making the tackle. There is a flag in the backfield. We'll wait and see if this might help out the Rebels, but if not, they are in deep field goal territory here on third down.
Yeah, I think, again, this is going to be another hold, but Townsend made a nice play. He came from his safety position and just knifed through the hole and made the tackle. And so I think you got a hold against the Rebels that obviously be declined. So Charlie Wiersma will be on here to attempt his field goal. And this will be Charlie's, I think it'll be his 12th try here. Check that. 13th try. He's made 9. His longest is 31 yards. So this will be just 1 yard shy of his longest of the year if he can get it.
Is he wearing Kai Nichols, number 27? He must be, because I didn't have Charlie's number 27 in my book. But check number 27 in your book. And Charlie Wiersma is wearing number 27.
Yeah,
so
okay.
They're just trying to play tricks on us. Thanks, Mark Townsend.
Yeah, he might have left his jersey in the dryer or something too.
Here is the kick. It's about 30 yards. It is up, and it is good. So we have a tie football game as Charlie Wiersma through the uprights. And it is a 3-3 football game with 3:43 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, that looks like the Rebels, even though it didn't result in a touchdown that drive, but the penalties hurt, obviously. But 3 points to tie this game is going to be something they can, relax a little bit about and get excited on the bench to try to, get this game in their hands rather than it being in the sort of midfield hands. Nobody's really dominating as of yet. It's been turnovers and penalties that have helped either club.
Just waiting. It looks like there is going to be a kickoff following this field goal, so the Rebels getting their kick team in order. Wiersma going to be charged with kicking this one away. Savion Townsend, number 11 for the Raiders, has been their best returner this year, but they also have Harmon Ahuja as well back there, number 2. He's also can be electric there. So we'll see where they decide to kick this one.
Yeah, Savion's doing pretty good on kickoff returns. He's averaging 20 yards per return.
And they are going to kick this one to Ahuja, number 2, as he's going to return this one and going to try and cross the field from right to left. He might have some room down the right side there. And he gets a good block and going to be brought down after a healthy return there, brought down near the 40. So the Raiders going to be starting in pretty good field position here.
Yeah, that was a good return. As he went to his left, that's where they were trying to set up the wall. And as the Rebels adjust their lanes to come down on coverage, it allows you time to get outside a little bit. So that's a good return. Anytime you're starting over your 35, that's not a bad place to start your drive after a kickoff.
So here comes Sadler, Smith & Co. And Smith going to start on the outside, the top right of your screen. And looks like another direct snap, but it's going to be a reverse to Ruben Bonsu, who gets a lane up the middle. And he's going to be brought down near midfield, but not before a good, healthy gain of about 20. As Ruben Bonsu, the star receiver of this football team, takes the handoff on the reverse and gets a good gain.
Yeah, it was not a bad little play. They've tried that about 3 or 4 times tonight. The first time that Bonsu took it, he got nailed for about an 8-yard loss. But that one set up nice, and his eyes were working because he read the blocks beautifully to pick up that big gain.
Sadler Smith not under center again. It's another direct snap, and this one only a gain of about 5, maybe 6. As Rondé Lyle has been taking a beating, taking those direct snaps, but got some good yardage there, and that's going to bring up a second and about 7.
Yeah, again, I'm kind of puzzled at why they're doing that. You got one of the better passers in the league. Again, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe Sadler's arm's not as healthy as I thought it was from last week's game, but I think I'd be taking advantage of his arm. But you are playing the Rebels. They are the top defenders against the run and the pass in the league.
And here's Smith on a deep throw to Ruben Bonsu. It's going to be broken up as Ben Matai does a great job in coverage as Ruben Bonsu had a lane, but that one's broken up, and now looks like the punt team coming out here for the Raiders.
Yeah, that was a very good coverage by, didn't get the number. I'll see it on the replay here on the Rebels who was on the cover there, but it was a really nice pass. It just a little bit out of the reach. It was number 26 for the Rebels. Ben Matai on great coverage there. Step for step with Ruben.
So now the Raiders going to kick this ball away. And Andrew Matz looking to get this snap. It's a good snap. And he kicks this one high, not super deep. It's going to be Gio Lanuzzi on the return. And he's going to try right up the middle and brought down pretty much immediately there in coverage. As that's Oren Blackmore making the tackle. And the Rebels offense back out on the field looking to score some more points after a field goal on their last drive.
Yeah, it's in the replay. Gio, just get the ball, get upfield. Because coverage is not going to allow you a lot of room when it's a short little punt like that, because they're going to be on you pretty quick. I got no yard call against the. Oh, okay. Boy, that didn't look like it on the replay, but it's a 15-yarder since Gio caught the ball in the air. I thought for sure that they were well outside of the restraining zone. Anyhow, officials are down on the field closer than we are.
So the ball moved up to the 45-yard line, and Ethan Picard back out on the field. And he takes this first down snap and goes to Chris McClarty, and he breaks the tackle. Going to go down the left side, going to try and get past, and he's going to break the midfield marker. Gain of about 18 as number 21, Chris McClarty, back on the field after that injury earlier on and looking pretty healthy there on that good run.
Yeah, Nate Halleck pushed him out of bounds. But, yeah, again, a run up the middle, good line blocking. And as he makes his cut outside, that's where he's going to see. If he didn't stumble there, he might have picked up a few more, but it was a healthy run.
So into Raider territory as the Rebels on first down. Another handoff play as Ryan Vincent makes a couple good cuts. And he is going to be very close to another first down as Ryan Vincent averaging about 10 yards a carry right now. And that's another good one, and that looks like the chains are moving. It's another Rebels first down.
Yeah, it was a good run. He had a zigzag there and a couple of zogs in as well, but just, yeah, nice little run. Again, success up the middle. And I think hopefully Coach Townsend is going to say to his guys, okay, let's continue this train because we are pushing them all over the field.
On first down, it's Chris McClarty, and he tried his luck up the middle, but he is stuffed as that's Andrew Matz, and there's a couple flags behind the play. Looked like some pushing and shoving there between Kamari Barney as multiple flags now flying.
Yeah, you're could see some guys ejected here, which wouldn't be too healthy if he ended up missing a game because he did something stupid.
Chris McClarty down again on the field after that big tackle on first down, so he's had a rough go tonight. And the officials currently talking over the penalties. We'll wait and see what's assessed. But Kamari Barney, as might not have shown it off the top of the show, but the graduating players for the Rebels were all kind of honored. Kamari is one of them. He was really highly touted at the beginning of the year, one of the veterans of this team. You'd hate to see him go out like this in his final regular season home game, but it's looking like that might be the case.
No, I hope not. Yeah, and he was one of the players at the beginning of the year that a lot of people were picking to be an All-Canadian, and he hasn't been a bad football player. He's just has allowed his emotions to get in the way now and then this year.
So Chris McClarty coming off now and looks like might be out for a little bit longer this time. And let's wait and see what the final call is. But the Rebels not helping out their cause
they're
once
coming
again.
over they've ejected a player, I think, because the official's coming over to speak to both head coaches as well as the game supervisor.
So we'll wait for this meeting to take place, but it looks like that's the case. It's going to be a penalty against the Rebels and an ejection to Kamari Barney, number 77. So a tough way to end your final regular season home game.
Yeah, looks like 44 from the oh, maybe not. He was just picking up the flag there, but generally the officials help. They walk the ejected player off the field to make sure he goes to the change room. I don't see anybody on the Raiders side with officials waiting to talk to him. We'll get the call here from the head official. Chris Short is the head official tonight.
Any relation, Paul?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well,
don't let him hear that.
No. I would never let him hear that. No, I've had run-in with officials when I coached, and when he decided to be an official, I kind of, okay, because he was a good football player and he coached himself. So,
unnecessary roughness, number 77, West Shore. Unnecessary roughness, 11, VI. And rough play, 77, West Shore. 77 has been ejected from the game. It's a 25-yard loss from the end of the play. It'll be second down.
Well, we're not going to tell Chris that you said that, Paul.
No. Yeah, but he knows me. He'll ask sometimes, "What'd you think?" And I tell him the truth. You were awful, but I love him. He dedicates himself to a lot of sports, and he's a good official. He does youth sport as well. He had a shot at the CFL, but it was at a time when he had a young family and business was starting to grow for him. So.
Well, Chris, you're doing a great job if you ever watch this back. Here is a long second down, and Picard going to throw this one. It's going to be caught as Tristan Ramos-Aravallo gets a good gain, but it's going to be up to the kicking team to does Charlie Wiersma have the leg, basically, is now the question.
That was a really nice pass. You can watch Ethan here. He stepped into this, and this was a laser. Put it right where it needed to be.
And we should mention Ethan Picard. He came into this game with 1946 passing yards. He needs 54 for 2,000 today. He's probably pretty close at this point.
Yeah, if not over, yeah.
If not over. So congratulations to Ethan Picard. He's been really a rock on this Rebels offense all year, coming in, filling in some incredibly big shoes left by T. Jesse. And he's done a great job this year, so congratulations, Ethan. I'm sure you'll hit 2,000 if you haven't already, and it's been fun watching you all year.
Oh, absolutely. He's leading the league in passing yards as well as touchdown passes.
As here is Harmon Ahuja on the return, and he's got a carpet of red jerseys all over him on the return there. Only got about maybe 5 yards, so Raiders going to have to take over deep in field position after a good kick there by the Rebels special teams unit.
Yeah, that was a good kick. It, put it down where it had to be. Only one guy can return it, and the coverage was right there to limit the run to maybe 5, like you said, or 6 yards. You can see on the replay it was just a carpet of red, making sure that he ain't going nowhere.
So that marks the end of the first quarter, a low-scoring quarter, only 2 field goals to speak of. And we have a tie football game as teams will trade sides, and the Raiders will now go from right to left in what is a cool night here at Starlight Stadium. Again, last year we were calling games here until Remembrance Day, and this we'll have to see how things play out, Paul, but this could be our final game of the year here at the end of September. We're not even in October yet.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. But I think the Rebels have confidence that this game is similar to the way the first time the Raiders were in town. They were kind of banging heads for the first quarter, then all of a sudden the Rebels took over. And it's just one, again, the rivalry dictates a whole bunch of stuff. And there's emotion involved, not so much between the players, although players feel it and sense what's going on, but between the coaches, because they were around when the Raiders team was allowed a franchise, and with so many ex-Rebel players heading north to play for them, that it just created this animosity. So it's been good because it's been able to generate some interest. But now, all these years later, now it's time to put that energy in developing the game. You know, there's just make it work, but if you're going to allow yourself to get out of control, make sure it's within the lines.
Here is a throw from Sadler Smith, and that is complete, as that's Blazen McCarty on the reception, and that's going to move the chains on a 2nd and long. So nice play there by Sadler Smith, and it's a Raiders first down.
Yeah, again, you know, Sadler's he stands in. He's been schooled as a quarterback. He's from Wyoming, so he's been coached. He understands the game. He sees it quite well. But I've always been impressed with the way he conducts himself as a leader, and you can really see the players rally around him.
Here is a first down direct snap, and again, that's Rondé Lyle, and the Rebels definitely have that play snuffed out now, and that's not much gain to speak of, and now 2nd and long.
Yeah, and when you have your backup quarterback getting hit like that on every second play, it takes a toll, and it's just, again, I'm puzzled at that type of play call, but that's what the coaches see. That's how they develop their playbook, and it looks like the same type of thing here with some motion, because they got Sadler at the bottom of the screen working himself as a wide receiver.
So here is Lyle, another direct snap, and he's actually going to maybe throw this one. Beats the edge and still going, and pushed out of bounds right near the line of scrimmage there. So kick team out here for the Raiders after Sadler Smith not even being under center for the last 2 plays.
Yeah, you can definitely see Rondé wanted to throw the football, but nowhere to throw the ball because he was being chased and he was losing area on the sideline, and to get pushed out of bounds for a very small gain.
West Shore Rebels cheerleading team had a bit of a scare there. There was a couple. Of course, the smallest girls there at the far side nearly got taken out there, but it looks like everybody on the far side there is okay. Although there is maybe the line marker got knocked down there because somebody was getting back up there just a moment ago. So looks like everybody's going to be okay after that.
Yeah, I'm surprised Woody didn't get on that tackle.
So the punt team out here for the Raiders. Andrew Matt's going to kick this ball away, and what happened there? That looked like an interesting snap. Not sure who jumped the line there, but
they might have called that on the Rebels for coming across the line of scrimmage, which made the Raiders move. Yeah. But they're still going to have to punt because it's still going to be 3rd down and around 7. But this is an opportunity here for the Rebels to get good field position. 1 man back, so you know they're trying to set up a bit of a return, but with everybody on the line of scrimmage, I think earlier they were thinking let's try to block it, but I would think you're going to try to get a return out of this.
Sir Andrew Matz takes a snap.
Yeah, they're in there blocking their guys, and this ball's going to run out of bounds, I think.
No. Gio Lanuzzi going to return this one, and he gets some blocks and brought down just past the midfield marker there. So Gio Lanuzzi cuts his way up the left sideline there and sets up the Rebels in enemy field territory here to start this drive.
Yeah, it was not a bad return. He started to his right, then just kind of oozed his way back to his left right there. Okay, I'm going to go this way. That was a good return. He picked up about 15 yards once he got going, and Rebels start Raiders 50-yard line, and an opportunity here to put some points on the board.
So here comes the Rebels offense. Only a field goal to speak of thus far. See if they can tack some points on here, and I don't see Ethan Picard on the field here at all. So interesting personnel here, and players just running onto the field here. And that is going to be a penalty against the Rebels for not being on the field in time. I'm not sure what the play call was there.
I don't know where Picard is. I don't think he got hurt.
He's on the sideline there. I can see him standing by Mark Townsend, but doesn't look like he's in any rush to get on the field. So Smith, it's almost like a game of copycat here where the Raiders haven't been using their quarterback for half the game, so maybe the Rebels going to see if they can do one better.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe it's just where they've had success on the ground. Let's just put the big boys in. Let's pound the ball. Pound the ball.
So no quarterback for the Rebels. And Tristan Ramos-Aravallo is going to take the snap and just run this one up the middle. And he's going to get a gain of about 10 there. Make it maybe 5 from the line of scrimmage on the first down. So that brings up 2nd and 10. And I still don't see Ethan Picard is on the field now. So 2nd down should look a little more traditional.
I would think. Yeah, I would suspect that they're going to put the ball in the air on this one. And because Coach Townsend is a gambler on 3rd down, and he likes to throw the ball.
2nd and 10. Picard on the field. He's got Chris McClarty in the backfield with him. And he's going to take this snap, and here comes the pressure. And here's a throw that is going to be incomplete, looking for Tristan Ramos-Aravallo, as Picard had the heat coming and just had to get rid of it. And now the Rebels going to have to punt this football away.
Yeah, I think he slipped a little bit when he made his break, and you can see on the replay here the shot out that wide, but as he was making his cut, I think it just threw him off a touch, because as it feels a little bit slick. It hasn't been wet, but as there's a lot of dew starting to happen now at night, it gets a little slippery.
So Charlie Wiersma going to kick this football away. Good snap, good hold, and lots of time for Wiersma to kick this ball away. And Harmon Ahuja going to take this ball near his own 20. Going to get some blocks, and he's going to have some room down the right sideline. And Charlie Wiersma, the kicker, is the one that gets there. So good return there by Harmon Ahuja to set up the Raiders in good field territory.
Yeah, again, it was just a little move up the middle, and what that does is it makes the defenders coming down just adjust their feet and their hips a little bit, and then he made a quick move back out to his right here, just that little quick cut, and then found the sideline and get what you can get. And it was a nice tackle by Charlie on that one, because he was the last guy out there.
So let's see what the Raiders offense opts to do here. They scored on their first drive of the game and haven't gotten any points since after getting that field goal.
Yeah, they've kind of settled into 2 downs punt since they had that field goal, and haven't had a lot of imagination on their offense tonight either.
So here's Sadler Smith under center for first down, and he's going to hand this one off to Owen Giancola, and he is going to be wrapped up immediately, and Manny Fontiu is going to be the one that eventually brings him down. It's not much of a gain to speak of, if any, and it's going to be 2nd and long.
Yeah, there was just no block in there. The Rebels outnumbered them along the line of scrimmage, and then once they got into the backfield, the Raiders' feet kind of stopped. Everybody's looking for somebody to block, and nobody was being blocked. You got 5 guys wrestling Giancola to the ground.
So a loss of 1 on the play makes it 2nd and 11 here, and Smith probably going to have to air this one out if they're going to stay on the football field here, as he is going to throw this one looking down the left side, and Paul Romanoff catches it and is brought down after a big tackle by Isaiah Boutin. But I think he had enough yardage, and that is going to be a Raiders first down. So good job there by Paul Romanoff to get there.
Yeah, that was not a bad pass. Sadler had to put it up a little bit high. And that was finally Romanoff makes a reception. It's been a while, but pretty close. But the official right away signaled it was first down. So fresh set of downs for the Raiders here.
And here's another direct snap opportunity. And there's a flag on the play, and Sadler Smith and Isaiah Boutin are tangling down the field here as the play does go up the 5-yard line, but not sure who this is going to be against, but I'm believing it's against the Rebels here, as Boutin and Smith were at each other's necks pretty much the moment that ball was snapped.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're, and I'm not sure why you would do that to begin with as a player. You know, I know you have a duty to prevent a pass receiver, but this could be an unnecessary
offside.
Offside.
In on the defense. 5 yards, replay first down.
It could have been on Boutin on that one, as far as him maybe a little get too close to Smith on that.
So 1st and 5 after the penalty. Smith under center for this snap. And he's going to take the snap, Here comes the pressure. He's going to throw a deep ball here looking downfield, and it's going to be broken up by Isaiah Boutin in coverage. And the Raiders sideline wants a PI, but they're not going to get the pass interference call. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, it was pretty close, but Boutin got his hand on the ball. That was a really nice play by him there to knock that ball away and puts them in the Raiders in a 2nd and 5, and I would suspect you'll see Sadler stay behind center on this one.
It looks like that's the case, Paul. As Smith, receiver's in motion, takes the snap, going to look to his left and throw. That's going to be complete, and just enough for a first down there. As the extra yards comes after contact there as Blaise McCarty powers through, and that's a Raiders first down.
Yeah, he took a pretty big hit, but he had the wherewithal to get back on his feet and just lunge forward. You can see on the hit here, okay, I'm alive. And he gets tackled from behind by Ted Wyndham Jr., and but just over the line for the first down.
So the chains move and the Raiders drive continues here. And here is another trick play. Paul Romanoff on the sweep, and he is brought down by Ted Wyndham Jr. The Raiders sideline wanting a horse collar tackle. Doesn't look like they're going to get it, though, and it's going to be pretty much a loss of yardage, maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 2nd and long.
Yeah, again, trying to run wide against the Rebels hasn't been any success with that this evening for them, and they get back in passings down, but Ted Wyndham came out of nowhere to make that tackle. He was on his horse for sure to get there.
So 2nd and 10. Smith with an empty backfield set. Here comes the pressure right away. And that pass going to be caught by Owen Giancola, but brought down immediately. Gain of about 3. And it's the punt team going to come out here for the Raiders.
Yeah, I would think they'd be punting here a little far for field goal. And when your field goal kicker's his longest he's hit this year is 30, it's you punt the ball and pin them deep.
So we've approached the halfway point of the second quarter here. Still only 6 points scored in this game, which is a stark contrast to the first 2 times these teams met, where I think we were over the 50-point mark in both of those between the 2 teams.
Yeah, and even like I said earlier, over the 8 games they've played prior to this one, the Rebels have outscored them 55-9 by average, and this is definitely not what I expected this evening. I thought the Rebels would be pumped up after losing 2 to come out here and really just get after these guys. But the Raiders played well last week. They really had a nice game plan, and so that's carrying over for sure.
So on 3rd down here, it's going to be Andrew Matz kicking this one away for the Raiders, nearly blocked. And Gio Lanuzzi going to return this and look immediately down the right sideline, going to try and beat the edge. And he's only going to get about halfway there before being tackled just past the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad return, though, by Gio. There was guys right there, and once he got outside, he was able to maintain his feet. And he got not a lot of blocking help, but you can see on the replay here, guys have the angle, and he just kept going. He just said, I'm going to do what I can get, and I'm going to get what I do. And it took a lot of Raiders to bring him down.
So the Rebels going to take over now. Just around the 35-yard line. Ethan Picard and company looking for some more success here. And on 1st down, he's going to look to throw it. He's going to throw it right up the middle and just out of reach, incomplete. As that one just didn't hit the hookup, and that's going to bring up 2nd and long.
That was a nice pass, and it was just out of the reach.
Josh Nevin, the intended receiver, and they look to go right up the seam, but just couldn't quite connect. What would have been a long play if that one had made it into the arms of Nevin. But now looking at 2nd and 10. Picard going to throw once more, staying in the pocket and looking to the left side, and that one not nearly anywhere close to either receiver. And now it's 3rd and 10 and decision time here for the Rebels.
Looks like the offense is staying out there, so I don't know, calling for a punt team. Yeah, that was just, I think, miscommunication between the quarterback and the receivers, and somebody ran the wrong way or didn't go the right way. Yeah, they weren't where they were, and Raiders did bring some pressure on Ethan, but he still had time to release the football. These are the type of plays that when you sit down on tomorrow night, basically, to look at film, and you'll be questioning what happened here, and now I get a bad punt here. So,
and Charlie Wiersma hits the wrong side of the football, and that's going to give the Raiders a good opportunity to score some points here, as it doesn't leave the side of the football field.
It looks like it's going to give the Raiders a ball about the 45-yard line for first down. Yeah, just off the side of Charlie's leg or foot there, and those things happen. But they'll be looking at film, and they'll go, what happened here, what happened there, and when everybody starts looking at film and the questions are asked, you don't have to answer, you don't have to feel like you're being picked on, but it's just a teaching tool, and it's really important that everybody's on the same page, and that just seems like the Rebels aren't there tonight.
Here is a deep throw on first down, and Paul Romanoff just can't get to that ball down the right sideline. Sadler Smith looking to dial it up early, but just incomplete, and that brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think he saw Paul pretty early because he looked to his right away, but just a little bit too much heat on the ball, and Romanoff wasn't able to catch up to it. But he was open.
So 2nd and 10. Looks like the Rebels going with one safety on this play. Gio Lanuzzi, the lone man, back, and Sadler Smith going to look to throw this one right away. It's a screen pass complete to Giancola. Looks like a penalty coming here to the Rebels, but a deep play regardless is Owen Giancola with like a 25-yarder. That penalty's probably going to be declined, as a big play by the Raiders has them deep in the red zone and looking for more points.
Yeah, I think that was probably roughing the passer because they had the brush on, and then they put Sadler on the ground, and officials are going to protect quarterbacks 100% all the time. Yeah, so that's going to move it up another half the distance. No, that's going to put the ball on about the 1-yard line. Holy cow. Yeah. So it a 15-yard penalty at the end of the run. I thought it would have been half the distance to the goal line. But so, again, a penalty, a big break for the Raiders on this one here. And another big penalty against the Rebels.
A gutsy effort on the road here by the Raiders.
That was a nice call because the Rebels brought the heat, and they set up the little screen, and Giancola just kept his feet going, found the hole, and carried a couple guys down for a big gain.
1st and goal on the 1. Sadler Smith under center, takes a snap and takes it himself. Does he get there? Yes, he does. Touchdown Raiders, and they retake the lead as Sadler Smith calls his own number and have the first major score of this football game, and the Road Dogs have the lead late in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, again, it's just one of those things. You penalty move, puts them in position on the 1, and just give it to the guy and take the ball and push him into the end zone. Typical play in Canadian football. But a touchdown for the Raiders here. It's going to fire up. It's going to give you a lot of confidence. It's going to be able to say, okay, guys, we can play with these guys. We only have 2 wins. They've got 5. We can play with these guys.
Extra point is up and good. And for the Rebels, this is an important game given the implications of the playoffs, that if they tie with the Langley Rams at the end of the year and win this week and next week, it comes down to points 4.
Absolutely.
So if the Rebels looking at themselves right now saying, hey, we've only got 3 points here, regardless, yes, you need to win the football game, but you need to win the football game by a lot here. So it's not panic time here for the Rebels, but they really need to get it into gear here.
Oh, absolutely. And also a loss by the Rebels here tonight, that opens the door for Valley Huskers to possibly climb over top of them in the standings. I know they got beat up tonight in Kelowna, but they have next week the Huskers are in Nanaimo, and I'm not saying it's a win for them, but if they did win that and the Rebels lose tonight, well, I shouldn't say that because it's only still first half, and then next week the Rebels could be going to Kelowna for a playoff game.
Right.
And tough road. So the goal is to win here tonight, win next week, get a home playoff date, but the way they're playing right now, they just seem out of sync, and they look like I didn't see much of the game last week in Kelowna on how they played, but the game against the Rams, that's a nice return. But the game against the Rams, they looked like this. They just weren't really into it. And you don't want to give the Raiders life, because they're getting experience and just learning, and getting better every week. Another penalty here. I'm not sure what this one is.
There's two flags on the play. One was more in the backfield and one was on the other side of the half. So wait and see how these penalties are assessed. But a statement has been made in this first half by the VI Raiders that they came to play. And they'll try and build on this 10-3 lead they have. We'll wait and see what these penalties are.
Goal against the Rebels and unnecessary roughness against the Raiders. So that'll move the ball up 5 yards from where they ended the play.
There's two fouls on the play. Holding during the return. Unnecessary roughness on the kicking team. That's a 5-yard difference from the spot of the first foul. First down.
So there you have it. Thank you, Chris Short.
Okay, now the row. You got 5 minutes left here in the half. Just some positive things happening. Move the football. Just get downfield. Get some points. And then you can get in the change room and talk about it. And just settle down and come out and play second half.
Ethan McCarn back on the field on first down. It's going to be a handoff play to Ryan Vincent, cutting right up the middle, and another good gain. That's a gain of about 15 as Ryan Vincent. He's kind of like, the Bop It toys, Paul?
Yes.
Remember the Bop Its?
Yep.
He's like the Bop Its, but they had to have the extra controls to make it more tough.
That's true.
He's got the spinner, he's got the flicker, he's got everything. That's a great gain, a gain of about 12. And it's another Rebels first down.
Well, he's a tough runner. I've always been impressed with him, and it still puzzles me sometimes why the Rebels just don't feed him the ball.
And
yeah,
here
he
is
goes
Vincent again. Gain of about 7, call it 8. And Vincent continues to dominate on the ground. That'll bring up second and short.
Because he is the leading rusher for the Rebels, and he's averaging about 4.8 yards a carry coming into this game, and he's definitely up that. But I think it's something, again, if you get something that's positive, maintain it, keep it going, and it gives the kids confidence. It's hard to just keep flipping back and forth, especially for old linemen, because they like blocking guys.
Here is John Boubard on the handoff, and that's going to be awfully close. I don't think he quite got there. That's going to bring up third and short.
Yeah, it's about 3rd and 2, maybe 3rd and a yard and a half.
And it looks like the Rebels offense going to stay out there and see if they can push this one and move the chains. They've been unsuccessful in their first couple attempts on third down, so let's see if they can get it here. And it looks like timeout Rebels.
Yeah, it's I don't want to say it's a big third down gamble, but it's about 2 yards, 2.5 yards. Boy, I'll get a feed Chris, or sorry, Ryan Vincent. Just feed him. I coached a kid named Chris Vincent. That's why I said Chris, I apologize to Ryan for that.
So Mark Townsend and Ethan McCard going over the third down play call coming up here. And we're into the final couple minutes here of the first half in what's been a pretty fast-moving football game. Not a lot of stoppages. I'm sure that'll come back to bite me in about an hour and a half when we're here waiting for the game to end. But
yeah, that's true.
It's been a good pace to this one despite a lot of flags.
Yeah, there has been a lot of penalties, and it slows it down because the officials have to talk about it, and it's just one of those things, and one penalty leads to another, and some of them are combined all together, and it does slow the game down. So this is a big third down gamble. You turn the ball over here against the Raiders with 3.5 minutes to go.
Let's see if the Rebels can convert. Picard takes the snap, looking to his left. Going to be a screen pass, broken up, incomplete. As that is number 44, Tanny Wisdom, in coverage. And a turnover on downs again as the Rebels offense continues to be spinning tires.
Oh, just I was, again, surprised at that they would continue to gamble that way. You know, especially with an opportunity to either pin the Raiders deep and then be able to get the ball back and score before the half's over. But now you're giving the ball back to the Raiders, and they put something positive together. They can be in the halftime with a bigger lead than 10-3. But also their play selection I've questioned tonight, so we could find the same thing. Maybe the Rebels get the ball back in the same position on a third down gamble.
Here is Owen Giancola breaking tackles up the middle. And that's a good, healthy gain of about 20. As Owen Giancola in the first two games didn't really get any yards to speak of on the ground. In fact, I think the Rebels held them to 7 yards rushing total in the second meeting. But he's been running wild here in the second quarter. That's a big gain and another Raiders first down.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got a horn on him because it would be going because he was just moving like a truck, knocking guys over, and that was a really impressive run.
So the ball spotted as we're just getting a clock adjustment here. 10 seconds added onto the clock here, which will make it 2:55. As the Raiders push into Rebels territory here, looking to tack on some points before the half. As Sadler Smith, receivers in motion, takes the snap and going back to Giancola. No, wait, it's a draw play. And Smith going to slide down to avoid contact after a gain of about 3. So that makes it 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Braden Look was coming in to put the leather onto him, and Sadler wisely went down. Small gain, 3 yards, 2.5. But again, they have the football. They're playing good, if you will, moving the ball anyway at this point, and a chance to come away with some points. But yeah, the Rebels they've got to settle down a little bit. Just relax and do your job. Do your job.
Here is Smith looking deep, and that is Ruben Bonsu on the connection. Gain of about 15, and the Raiders have all the momentum right now. Another Raiders first down.
Yeah, nice route by Ruben. There was just an out, and he worked to the sideline and found himself wide open. And a good pass by Smith. Fresh set of downs. Clock won't start until the snap because it was an out-of-bounds play.
And looks like some communication trouble there, and Sadler Smith having trouble hearing through his headset. I don't know if the Raiders had that technology last year, but looks like Sadler Smith doesn't get a play through the headset, and doesn't look like they have any ulterior motive on getting him the plays here. So
yeah, that was one of the things that came out. The Saskatoon Hilltops last year, they had helmet communication, and there was a lot of questions about it. Is that legal within junior football? And it was decided that don't stand in the way of technology, and if teams can afford it, and most teams do, it's surprising teams that say that's too expensive, they come out in the field and they have it. So it's not that bad, but it's a good idea, and why not? The coaches have communication between the spotters and the sideline, and why not between the bench and an offensive captain and a defensive captain?
So it looks like the Raiders have things sorted out now. And Sadler Smith directing traffic. And now looks like he's ready to snap the ball. And here is the snap. He's going to throw right away to Bonsu, and it's going to be caught, but not a huge gain to speak of. Isaiah Boutin in on the tackle. Gain of about 5. Call it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, it was, again, was a little stop. Just get upfield, stop, turn around, catch the ball. get what you can get out of it. Surprised damn nice hit on there, but Ruben held on to it pretty tight. So second down, and second down about 4. So one of those downs where you look at it and say, okay, we can run or pass, and he's just going to get a free one here and on offside, I believe.
Oh, big catch by Ruben Bonsu, and tackled right near the 1. And was that against the Raiders or the Rebels?
That was against the Rebels. That was an offside, so that's going to be a decline, and the Raiders are going to have the ball on about the 1 yard line, 1.5 yard line.
First down.
Big play.
Nice catch. Went up to get the football. I think Bhutan might be dreaming about Ruben tonight when he gets home. He's seen him a lot.
So just before the 2-minute warning, the Raiders looking to strike with another major score here. On the 1, it's Sadler-Smith again. Touchdown Raiders. It is 17-3 VI Raiders late in the first half. What is going on here at Starlight Stadium? The Rebels have more questions than answers at this point, and this is now a 2-score football game late in the first half.
The defense has been on a lot. Like, you can look at them now as they're lined up for the convert. A lot of hands on the hips. So they're going to be a little pooped out, but it's the difference over the last couple of drives has been Sadler-Smith throwing the football, and he's been able to connect with Bonsu 3 or 4 times, which for big gains. And Giancola running was just, he's like a horse back there, and he's saying, give me the ball and just hitch on to me, and I'm going to pull you along as I'm making my own holes. And again, the Rebels are going to settle in. They get still 2 minutes and 14 seconds here to answer that touchdown, and as long as they play smart, make it work, just do your job.
So it's a 2-minute drill here for the Rebels offense to try and get some points on the board here before the half. All the momentum now is on the side of the VI Raiders. Something we haven't said here at Starlight Stadium in what's felt like years.
It has been years. Since 2022 is the last time the Raiders beat the Rebels. So it's just something that, you're working hard to practice. You're doing your thing. You know it's an island game. You always get fired up for it. And don't want to say the Rebels might be looking past this game to the Rams for next week, but because coaches don't allow that to happen. But players' minds wander and think we can make this go.
Here is Isaiah Bhutan on the return, and he is not going to get very far at all. Great job there by the Raiders special teams unit breaking through the wall. And the Rebels going to take over near their 25 yard line.
Yeah, they had the wall set up, and they're on their way to it, but some of the Raiders slipped in behind to slow it down. You can see him now. Okay, now I got to stop and move. And then by that time, the Raiders defenders and coverage guys were right there to make the tackle and limit that gain. They didn't even make the 25 yard line. They're at the 24 yard line. So it's a long field, but there's still 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go here in the first half.
Card under center. It's an empty field set. Going to throw this one. And that one incomplete, underthrown, nearly intercepted as Sterling Henry was there in coverage, and that makes it 2nd and 10.
That was almost intercepted. If he had his hands under that ball, that might have been a turnover, and that would be, yeah, boy, that was close. But again, I'd be feeding Vincent. Feed him the football.
Picard going to throw on 2nd down. Here comes the pressure, and he is going to be brought down. The ball is loose. And the Raiders recover for a touchdown. Paul Short, what is going on?
Boy, I wish I could say that's a pretty excited bench right now, and the Rebels have to be going, what the heck is going on? When did this happen? Ethan didn't see him coming. And then the ball was knocked out, and it's just now it's my football, and how a football bounces, it's really tough to jump on a football. You have to try to curl your body around it to prevent it from rolling and still thumping around. And now you're getting a bit of arguing on the Rebels bench, and that's just natural. But they're going to go up 24-3 here. But again, there's time. There's time for the Rebels to do something here in the first half to sort of right this ship. And but at this point, they're struggling.
Extra point is no good.
Yeah, it was blocked, so there's a positive thing. So up by 20 points. Now you go out and you score a touchdown, you go in and you'd be down 13 points. And 2 converted touchdowns in the second half, you can win the game by 1 point. But the thing is, you got to do something that's going to pull the Raiders back in for them to say, oh man, here we go again. But now they've got some excitement in their heads. Their feet are happening. The coaches are pumped up. And Rebels have a little bit of a chore to do here.
I can't do this because I'd be bad at my job, but I'm at a loss for words, Paul.
Well, I've seen this before. I was on the end of these both ways. And it's kind of, you wonder what's going on. And then you start getting outside of your comfort zone. You know, as coaches, you put players on a train track. And when you venture off the track, you don't move very well. So that's the thing. They got to get back on the track. And when you can do that, then positive things start to happen.
Gio Lanuzzi on the return gets about 15. He's dropped down at the 30. So the Rebels going to take over here with 1:45 left. Desperately needing points here before the end of the half.
Hopefully they don't come out and free slinging. You know, you don't want to pass intercepted, which can, could allow the Raiders an opportunity to add points to it. But just put the ball, give it to Ryan Vincent, get a first down, give it to Ryan Vincent, get a first down, because he's been averaging about 10 to 12 yards a carry so far this evening.
So the Rebels back on the field. Picard on first down, going to roll out of the pocket immediately, looking to throw deep, and it is going to be incomplete.
And a roughing the passer penalty here. So that's going to move it up 15 yards.
So we'll see where that penalty spots the ball.
So that should move it up to around their own 51-yard line. So again, just do something here to get some points before the half comes to an end, and go in and talk about it, settle down. They got to clean up the penalties. They've helped the Raiders with some, silly penalties. They're also down an O-lineman because of the game ejection.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall in the Rebels locker room at half.
Yeah, true.
A lot of conversations to be had, I believe.
Yeah, well, I think, first thing the coaches have to get together and make sure they're all on the same page as well to make things happen. And that's an incomplete pass. So that brings up the second down.
And that was Blair Van Brunshot looking to make the reception, but just touches the ground. Kaya Saunders was lurking in coverage there. I'm surprised they're throwing number 27's way. He's been already an interception today and always dangerous as number 27.
He is, and he's always been around the football, whether he's on special teams or on defensively.
So 2nd and 10. And Picard has trouble with the football and has to just jump on top of it. Going to be a loss of 5. And the Rebels coaching staff is looking at one another. A lot of people asking questions, and going to have to punt this football away and probably deal with only 3 points in the first half.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the thing is you got to get the players' heads back into it, because they take this type of disappointment, if you will, differently, and some stop listening, some stop communicating, and it's just get everybody back on the same page. There's another poor kick that unfortunately is out of bounds at the 50-yard line. So the Raiders with 1:19 in position here to add to that 23-3 lead.
Is it Freaky Friday, Paul? It's like, have we entered that realm of territory here?
I don't know, or maybe we're getting into October, so it's kind of Freaky Friday could be. I don't know. This is like I said, I'm not overly surprised at the way the Rebels have played the last couple of weeks, but just how easy it's been for the Raiders to capitalize on their mistakes. I think that's the thing I'm most surprised at. But
so here's a flag right on the snap as Henry Bonsu going up the right side, carving up the middle. Can he get an extra block? No, he cannot. He's going to be wrapped out of bounds near the 25, not before a 25-yard gain. Is this against the Rebels?
Yeah, I think there's too many men on the field.
And they're going to decline that, so that's another gain. And there's a very good chance the Raiders can add more points here and continue this wave of momentum they're riding right now.
Yeah, they still have too many men on the field, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they got 12 now, but they had too many men on the field there because one of the guys coming off didn't get off the field.
So here is the Raiders in Rebel territory on first down. Going to be a deep throw for Bonsu, and it is going to be just broken up as Ben Matai in coverage does a great job, as that was nearly another major score, but not for number 26 being great on man coverage there on first down.
Yeah, it was a nice throw. It's just it was really good coverage. You can see that Smith was looking at him the entire way, and that ball comes down, and then just good coverage right there. That was very, very nice. Bonsu's the guy to go to with the Raiders. He's one of the top receivers in the league. I think he's got, coming into this game, he had 39 catches for 583 yards, and he's probably caught about 6 or 7 tonight already.
Here is Smith on 2nd and 10, a short throw to Harmon Ahuja. It's caught. He's got some room to run, and he's going to try and reverse directions, but Fermi Akinlola going to make the tackle, but I think he's got enough for a first down. As Harmon Ahuja up the middle. That's going to move the chains, and it's red zone territory for the Raiders. Still time to work with, 56 seconds on the clock, and a Raiders first down.
No, they're going to have to hustle. I'm not sure how many timeouts they have left. The Raiders, I don't think they have any, to be honest with you, because they did use a couple earlier in this quarter, and they still want to come away with points on this.
Here is a throw down the far side of the end zone, and it's caught! Touchdown Raiders. Flags fly at the end. It could just be for unsportsmanlike.
Have it flagged down on the line of scrimmage as well. That might be offside Rebels.
Blaze McCarty with the reception, and Freaky Friday continues.
That was a very nice catch. Okay, that's a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Blaze for spinning the ball in the defender's face. But it was offside Rebels, so the touchdown will count. And the penalty be added on the kickoff. So that'll move it back 10 yards. And unsportsmanlike conduct against the Raiders.
Objectionable conduct, offense, number 14, after we applied.
Yep. Fortunately, the wireless mic
touchdown counted, so that
cut out, but that is the call. Touchdown Raiders, 29-3, pending the extra point. Are my shoes put on backwards? Like, did I wear it?
Maybe it's just you put extra clothes on because fall's here, and it just maybe, oh, okay, it's real football season. I don't know. It's you got to give kudos to the Raiders. They've come in here and they're taking advantage of the mistakes the Rebels have made, as well as the opportunities that they've been presented with.
Uh-oh. Look out on the extra point attempt, a bad snap. That's going to be another incomplete extra point attempt, so still 29-3. But not maybe the correct score line I thought it maybe after a half, but
wrong teams
flipped the other way around. As this has just been a bizarre first half.
It has been. And, like I said, you look at the way the Rebels have played, they haven't really been like the Rebels when they started the year. They played well. They were all in unison. But, again, injuries get involved. continuity between a receiver and a quarterback because of receivers' injuries. Offensive line are so important, and they've had a few injuries along the line. So those things, come back to haunt. But Raiders have experienced the same thing. Sadler Smith was down with a shoulder injury earlier, and they've had their injuries. I noticed, can't remember his first name, Finstad isn't playing tonight. A really good linebacker with the Raiders. So it's, the injuries come in, but players step up. You give new players an opportunity. But the Raiders are just taking advantage of what the Rebels are giving them tonight.
Here's a deep kick that Giovanuzzi has some trouble with. He's going to go down the left sideline, though. He's got some room.
He's got a corner here.
And Giovanuzzi going to be tackled out of bounds near the 50-yard line with 36 seconds left to go. So good return there by Gio, and leaves a sliver of hope here for the Rebels offense to maybe get some points on here with only 36 seconds remaining in the first half.
No, that's got to be the goal right now, is to try to get in position, at least get a field goal. Get a field goal, feel good about yourselves, go into halftime, get that little bit of a break, talk about it, and come out in the second half and play the second half like the last time you played them at home, the Raiders at home, because you had a big second half to win the game.
First down, Picard going to throw, pressure coming, and that throw going to be incomplete, almost intercepted off the deflection. Looking for Ryan Vincent downfield, but just couldn't rein it in. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, everything seems to be hurried. The Rebels seem to be hurrying, like Ethan on the last few passes. He's had pressure, but he's been, looked to me like releasing the ball a little bit too early, in a hurry to get it out and not really feeling comfortable.
Receivers in motion on 2nd down. Picard going to draw this play to Vincent, and he is going to just maybe get down close to the first down marker. We'll see where this one's spotted. As another draw play.
Just shy, just shy.
And Ryan Vincent favoring his arm, getting up. Hopefully he's all right. And looks like timeout called by the Raiders, but it is going to be 3rd and about 2. And if you're the Rebels, probably want to gamble this one, see if you can get a first down. But need plays with some yardage behind them here late in the half if you want to score some points.
Oh, absolutely. And it's you got to hand the ball to Ryan on this one. Get the first down. You've got another timeout you can call. Maybe go deep, try a deep pass, and then kick a field goal if it's not successful. But yeah, they are. They got to be frustrated as well, because having lost those 2 games in a row, it hovers around you. You're talking about it all the time, and maybe they just took the Raiders a little bit too lightly, saying, okay, here's our game to get out of our funk. And Raiders just came in and say, let's put this back on the Rebels, because they've been beating us up for the last 8 games. Since 2022, we haven't won a game. Let's go win a game this year. So.
Well, let's see if the Rebels can do anything here late in the half, and it's going to be a handoff play to Ryan Vincent. He's got enough for the first down, but only that much, as he's tackled right afterwards. And that will move the chains. It'll be a first down, but I believe the clock will run the moment the ball is
whistled in,
so the Rebels going to have to play this one pretty quick. And waiting for the official signal now. Players are in position. Ball has been spotted. And there is the whistle. The clock starts, and Picard snaps the ball, looking deep downfield, now changes direction, and going to throw this one into coverage, incomplete, as Lyndon Williams, the intended receiver, but there was a flag on the play near Picard. I wonder if it was a roughing the passer. Holding. So that one's going to back up the Rebels again. And only 11 seconds remaining on the clock here.
Yeah, and the Raiders will take the penalty, because that's going to make for a longer throw to get anywhere near the end zone with 10 seconds to go. Because the clock won't start anyway, because it was an incomplete pass. So that's why they'll take the penalty.
And this Rebels team, I mean, we're looking back ways to week 4, but when the Sun were in town, the Rebels had a 30-16 lead going into that fourth quarter.
Yes.
They could have easily beat the Sun, knocked off their undefeated record, and taken first place. And ever since that fourth quarter kind of collapse, I hate to call it a collapse, but it was a collapse, they just haven't seemed like the same football team in terms of that confidence they had earlier on in the year.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was the one that said, "Oh, we're mortal. You know, things can go wrong, and they can go wrong in a hurry, and we've got to make sure that they do the things that to help them to win, and sometimes when you get in a position that you're struggling, you're trying to struggle to get out of the struggles by doing something extraordinary rather than simple. Just get back to the simple things and build the confidence back into the players' heads. But yeah, I agree. I thought that collapse against the Sun has affected the rest of their season for sure.
2nd and 15. And Picard going to take the snap. He's going to have to look downfield, and that's what he's doing. But he's been flushed out of the pocket, still rolling to his left, and he's going to drop the football, and that is recovered by the Raiders on the fumble. And they are going to celebrate that to the locker room, as that is the end of the first half. And the traveling faithful for the Raiders, who have come down from Nanaimo, have to be loving what they've seen in this first half, as they have a 29-3 lead over the West Shore Rebels at the end of the first half.
Well, I'm like you. I'm surprised. Not surprised the Raiders are leading, but I'm surprised by a 29-3 score. You know, they're going to come to try to play, and if I thought if the Raiders were ever going to be leading, it would be maybe like 10-6 or something like that, you know, a close one. But again, penalties that the Rebels have taken have allowed the Raiders in position to score, and turnovers. That one fumble down deep when Ethan got sacked, that was one that turned into a touchdown that really put the Rebels on their heels.
Well, it's been a tale that can't really be spoken much of there, Paul. At 29-3 to lead here for the VI Raiders. Not an expected scoreline, and we're going to see if maybe the momentum flips in the second half. Please stay with us. We'll be back for second half coverage after the break.
My name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range and a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
slip of our fingers. Well, I never found all of the places we'll go where we are. Doors shut and open. Well, life's never far behind. All these places are unknown to me. All these things that we'll see when we go.
I'm Cody McMahon. I'm from Mission, BC.
Hey, I'm Ethan Picard. I'm from Corkin, Alberta.
Hey, I'm Kwame Franklin. I'm from Coharbor, Nova Scotia.
Hi guys, I'm John Anderson from Port Alberni, BC.
I'm Zion Brown from East Preston, Nova Scotia.
Hi, my name's Lorenzo Altabelli. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil.
Hi, this is Fermi Okololo. I'm from London, UK, and this is Know Your Rebels.
What's your favorite snack food?
Snack food, I'm pretty boring. I'll just put some chicken thighs in the air fryer, and that's about it.
I think snack food, I just have to go with, I'm not a big snack guy, like lasagna, that's my snack food.
It's gotta be paçoquinhas. In Brazil, we have these peanut, they're kind of like Reese Cups, but not too sweet. They're less sweet than Reese Cups, so it's gotta be paçoquinhas.
I'm already a snack guy, but in Canada, you guys got these Doritos sweet chilies. I love those, the black pack.
Chocolate, I'm a big chocolate guy. I mean, put chocolate on anything, I might eat it.
What's your favorite chocolate of the bunch?
Probably Hershey's.
I get made fun of this for a lot, but I really like chocolate covered jujubes.
What?
Yeah, that's an alignment thing, but you know, just good choice.
They recently got those like cheese balls, those ones from Toy Story. They recently started selling those out in Walmart. Bought a couple boxes of those. Those are nice.
Look, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
We're all looking for it. A place to reignite your soul and to awaken your inner child. To leave feeling awestruck, not because of the destination, but because of the journey itself. Take a deep breath and smell the freshness of the air. Listen to nature's music. Look out onto the vast horizon. Indulge in locally foraged food. Feel the warmth of the sun and the coolness of the ocean. Let your senses come alive.
Look out, Karen Masson. Got it.
There from full pickup, who will pass it there to Jesse King, who scores again!
At West Shore Motorsports Park.
Cross in the box for Parmar, and she's done it.
My name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land. We decided to change the name to more reflect our heritage.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
John and I have been partners since 1986.
In the old days, we bought lots and built houses and sold them, and we mostly build condo buildings now instead of single-family homes.
John and I go back to Norway quite a bit, getting ideas from there how to do things better. We're using solar panel on the roofs and electric car chargers. More and more people are driving electric, and we want to be prepared for the future and promote some healthy and environment-friendly options, and people seem to like that. We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So I used to frame for Harold 20 years ago when I was just out of college. I became a lawyer down in California, and I was looking at my next step in my career, and I just took over as the president last year. And we have plans to expand what we've been doing by fourfold in the next couple years.
And now we're building very close to the downtown core of Langford, and we got mountains, we got snow, we got forest. Everything is in walking distance, basically. So you get a whole lot more for your money in Langford.
It's several years now been deemed or voted the best place in Canada to live. With all that, people are working from home and they're finding it kind of crowded in a lot of places, so we're trying to offer larger units for them.
And so what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Going, show me around. Tip of our fingers, well, I never found all of the places we'll go where we are. Doors shut and open, well, life's never far behind. All these places are unknown to me. All these things that we'll see when we go.
Welcome back inside Starlight Stadium for the second half of this football game. And Paul, it took me about 10 minutes, and I'm still searching for words to describe that first half.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I am too, other than when I got the stats. You could see where it not jumped in the favor of the Raiders, but just explained with the what's happened to the Rebels. And the two things that jumped out was the Rebels turned the ball over 6 times through going for it on third down, 3 on third down, of interception, and 2 fumbles. And they had 15 penalties for 130 yards. So that's telling. And now you're kicking off to the Raiders here and allowing the Raiders an opportunity. But hopefully, always at halftime they were going to talk about it, and they're going to settle down, and they're going to guaranteed be playing a completely different second half here.
So here is the kickoff, and we are away for the second half as it's a booming kick from Gio Lanuzzi. And Harmon Ahuja going to be brought down by Ted Wyndham Jr. So good special teams work by the Rebels, and the Raiders going to have to work out of their own end zone here around their 20-yard line to start this second half.
Yeah, that was a nice tackle by Ted. And he's somebody that quieted down there in the second half. In the second quarter. In the first quarter, Ted was all over the field making plays, but rarely called his name in the second quarter. So here's a chance for the Rebels to get the ball back in good field position, just stop the Raiders at this point. And obviously for the Raiders, they want to add to this and hold on to the football, use up the clock, and they're starting the game the second half like they started the game. Very little gain on first down, running that Wildcat type of play.
That's Rondé Lyle under center, Sadler Smith on the far side, and Rebels have that play scouted out pretty well, and that's a no gain on first down. It's going to bring up second and long.
That's how the Raiders started the game, and the Rebels were in control at that point as they were stopping that play, and the Raiders didn't have any chance of having success with it. They had success in the second quarter just mainly based on their passing.
Sadler Smith under center for second down, receivers in motion. Smith looking to throw right away, but he's going to scramble out of the pocket. No, he's going to throw it deep and broken up, incomplete, as Denis Moses in coverage looking for Paul Romanoff with Sadler Smith, but that one's broken up, incomplete, and job done well for the Rebels defense on the opening drive of the second half as the punt team comes out.
That's your positive thing, because you're going to get the ball in decent field position here, probably deep into Raiders territory. And that's the goal. Just get yourself settled in, make things happen, and be positive. Just do your job. It's just something I've always believed in, is when you're as a player, you have an assignment. Just do your assignment.
Andrew Matt's going to kick this one away, nearly blocked. And Gio Lanuzzi going to take this one over near the 45-yard line and go down the left sideline, but pushed out of bounds. So good job there by the Raiders to get onto the ball quick, and that means the Rebels going to take over near the 40-yard line.
Not a bad return, and again, nice area here for the Rebels to start their first drive here in the second half.
And a good turnout here at Starlight Stadium. You could hear a pin drop right now.
Yeah, it has been quiet. Normally you hear a few chants here and there and a couple cheers, but even the announcer's quiet, and there's just no real rah-rah going on. And had an RPO there, number 12, a quarterback for the Rebels under that play there. It's
Miles Blatherwick, welcome to the football game.
Yeah,
you're only down 26 points.
Yeah, maybe that's the spark they need, and also an opportunity as backup quarterback to get into the real fire action and see what you can do. He hasn't played that much this year.
Here's a second down. It's another fake play, and look at Miles Blatherwick go as he gets some extra yardage as well there. And one of the Rebels gets pushed down. It looks like Kwame Franklin was tangled up there, but Miles Blatherwick taking it himself for the first two plays, and it's worked out pretty well. It's a Rebels first down.
Yeah, that was a good, tough run as well. He had his feet underneath him and just kept running and got pulled a little bit, but you have to make things happen, and that's what they're trying to do in this drive here. Score a touchdown, and then the mindset changes, and on both teams.
Here's Chris McClarty on first down as he's back into the football game. He took a couple big hits in the first quarter, and we haven't really seen him since. But he gets the handoff there. It's a gain of about 2, maybe 3. And that's going to bring up second and long.
Yeah, the thing they got to also do, they got to make sure that they maintain their emotions. You can't, because there's going to be a lot of talking going on. I'm sure the Raiders are talking to the Rebels, like, hey, look at what we're doing to you guys. Look at the scoreboard type thing. But you got to maintain your composure and play within yourself. Just make sure you just don't do something that's going to hurt the team.
Ryan Vincent up the middle, gain of 3 or 4, but that brings up 3rd and 5. So now it's decision time for the Rebels. Do you kick a field goal, or are you down so far down the well that you want to go for a score? It looks like they're going to opt to just kick a field goal here. So they're only going to put maybe 3 points on the board here as Charlie Weir's not coming out to kick.
They're bringing in the cover teams. I wouldn't be surprised to see a fake here, but I think points are more important at this point.
Wiersma is set. Ball's been clocked in. Good snap, good hold, and that kick is wide left. So no points put on the board.
They get the 1 point.
Oh, they get the 1 point, sorry.
Yeah.
For kicking it through, so make it 29-4. But not a drive that you're really going to want if you're the Rebels. You wanted to get at least 3 on the board there, especially at that range. So tough finish to the drive there for the Rebels.
Yeah, and it's positive. They were able to move the football, picked up a couple first downs. So it's a good way to start the second half. And they held the Raiders on their first set of downs and got the ball in decent field position. So that's what they try to do again here. While the Raiders are they got to get a first down and move the ball themselves.
Sadler Smith under center here, first down. Ball spotted at the 35. And it's going to be a handoff play to Owen Giancola. He's going to break around the right side of the pocket, and he is going to break a tackle before being brought down there by Bryce Ruther, but well enough for a first down there, and that's going to move the chains.
They got an injury there, it was like sideline. That was a nice run. You can see here he makes contact, and he just runs right out of that tackle. Picked up about 14 yards, and that's what the Raiders needed. Again, something to fire them up. They've got a good lead here. They just have to maintain and just be smart.
Here's 1st and 10, and Smith going to hand off the ball to Giancola, and he is going to rumble up the middle, get some extra yardage. Yeah, and they're going to be near another first down, probably gain of about 9. As Giancola has had a change of fortune here against the Rebels today. He's been stifled in the first 2 meetings, but today he's really had a game to speak home about, number 24 for the Raiders, and that's going to push that one, a gain of about 6, maybe 7, and bring up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, that was a good run, too. A good, tough run. So it's ride these guys. You ride your best running back. You try to get the ball to your best receiver, and that's what the Raiders have been doing this evening with throwing the ball to Bonsu and Giancola carrying the mail.
Here's a throw on first down by Sadler Smith, and that's Harmon Ahuja making the reception. It looks like another first down, and Ahuja has some words for the Rebels sidelines, and as you mentioned, Paul, a lot of the smack talk has been one-sided in the first 2 meetings, and now it's the Raiders' turn to maybe return the favor.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that it's a natural. These guys are 22 and under, and the world today is all about talk, and so that's going on the field. You just got to make sure that you're disciplined enough where it doesn't cost you a big gain, and you say something, you get a penalty out of it, and it hurts your teammates.
Sadler Smith has been moving up the field. He's going to throw again here on first down. That is caught with some room to run. And going to be brought down near the first down marker. That's Parker Moskrip. And Ben Matai of the Rebels looks like he's injured on the play. and is going to need some assistance.
That was a good run. That was a tight end type run, and he just ran over. I don't know if that's. I didn't see the number of who was down there.
I believe that's Ben Matai.
Ben Matai. Yeah, that's a rough one because he got bowled over there as he was making the tackle. He could be just. I think they're looking. This could be a concussion. Some concussion protocol being called in here. So
it looks like he's going to be able to get up on his own power, which is good to see. So hopefully Ben Matai is all right.
Yeah, he'll go through the protocol right now. They'll be doing their pre-concussion talk and find out if there's any symptom there that there's to be concerned about.
So we resume action. It was the Raiders' first down, so that's 3 first downs in a row here, and the Raiders have been marching downfield, looking to tack on some more points here, and the Rebels looking to get a stop. Sadler-Smith. Looks like the play has been clocked in. Receivers in motion. Empty backfield set, and Smith going to throw this one. No, he's not. He's going to try and go on the ground, and he's just going to slide down shortly after breaking the pocket. It's a small gain, and that's going to make it 2nd and long.
Yeah, he had nobody open there, and I think he was trying to get it downfield, right down the seam, and that was taken away, so had to pull the ball down. And he's a smart quarterback. That's a couple times this evening where he's gone down on the zone just to stop the plays so he doesn't get hit.
So Smith, 2nd and 9. And he's going to hand this one off to Owen Giancola, who breaks a tackle and loses the football. Flags do fly, and I think the Raiders recovered. That's a tough blow, especially if this flag goes against the Raiders, because the Rebels had a chance on that football, and I don't think they're going to get it back. You're counting, Paul. Why are you counting?
Well, just the where flag came out, I just thought there was maybe 2 men on the field, too many men. Oh, no, they're picking the flag up, and that was a first down run.
Supporting our players in finding housing and supporting our players.
So the Rebels have, the Raiders have the ball. They're going to be at the 20-yard line here, and they're definitely in field goal range.
So that fumble would have been costly, but luckily the Raiders recover it, and Mark Townsend had his hands on his head at the moment the Raiders recovered that, because the Rebels had a very good shot at that football and didn't come up with it. And now the Raiders in the red zone on first down, looking to pile on here as Sadler-Smith under center, looking to throw, looking to his left. He's looking for Bonsu, and I believe that ball touched the ground. Are they going to call it a catch? They are.
They are calling it a catch. Wow, nice catch. I hope it's on the replay, because he had to get down real low for that one. His hands were probably scraping his knuckles on the ground for sure.
Yeah, close play, but didn't look like much of a complaint from the Rebels defense. So great catch there by Bonsu, as we'll get a quick replay before the next play is snapped in. And there you see him on the top right of your screen. And I don't know.
Boy, if there was
it looked like we might have to slow that one down further next time we see it. But we'll continue play here as it's 2nd and 2. And it's a direct snap play, and I believe the Raiders have more than enough for a first down there, as that was Rondé Lyle on the direct snap, and that is going to move the chains. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Think about the 6-yard line. Yeah, they got they're confident. The Raiders are really got a little bit of a swagger here, and they're moving the football. A little bit of luck on their side on that fumble. And then that pass to Bonsu, which if we're in the NFL or the CFL, you can challenge that. But unfortunately in junior football, you can't.
Here is Rondé Lyle. It's a reverse to Bonsu. He's got a lane to the end zone.
Corner.
Touchdown, Raiders. There is a flag behind the play.
I think that's holding.
So the play is going to come back.
Holding against the Raiders, so that's going to push them back to the 16-yard line. It'll be first down over. Penalty sounded like it was on Paul Romanoff.
So a break for the Rebels. And it looks like Paul Romanoff having some words with the official. And that makes it first and goal, but from, again, about the 15, 16-yard line. So more work to do here for Sadler, Smith and Company.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, you see the clock ticking away too with 6:15 to go here in the third quarter. The Rebels, they get, come on, defense, let's get that ball back. But the Raiders thus far have held on to it here on this drive.
It's been a long drive here for the Raiders. They've been marching the ball upfield. And looks like Smith wants to throw this one. He's going to look for Bonsu again, and he's got it this time. Touchdown Raiders. Ruben Bonsu has had a monster game, and he continues it. And the path back has just gotten steeper for the Rebels as it's another major score for the Raiders.
That was a really nice, and Ruben went up real high to catch that, held on to the ball when he made contact with the ground.
And there could be some BCFC Offensive Player of the Week votes for that man, number 8, Ruben Bonsu, who has been dominant today.
He's had a very good game in the first half. He caught 4 passes for 64 yards. 4 passes, 66 yards. Well, that's his second pass of this second half, his reception, and resulted in another touchdown.
Extra point is good to make it 36-4 for the visiting VI Raiders.
Well, I would think that nobody saw this coming, and I'm pretty sure the Okanagan Sun and the Langley Rams are probably going, what? What's going on?
Again, the journey, the playoffs are not in doubt for the Rebels, but the home playoff hopes are dwindling by the minute now.
Yes.
They need a lot of scores in not a lot of time.
Yeah, you got to find that secret. Get the first one. Get the first touchdown, and then see what happens after that.
So the Raiders, after getting the score, are going to kick this one away. The kick is a good one, and this one is going to be returned by John Bubar down the right sideline. He's going to look for some blocking, and he's going to run into his own teammate, Max Teradash, and be forced out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Then that's where the Rebels offense, who's been sputtering all day, will take over and look to find that gear here late in the third quarter.
Just again, like I've been saying all evening, do your job. Just get out there and try to make things happen, but just allow the game to unfold with you rather than forcing it. And it looks like Ethan Pickard's having a rest for this second half, I would expect.
So Miles Blatherwick still in the game. He's going to roll out of the pocket immediately on first down, and he's going to try and sling this one. Caught by Tristan Ramos-Arevalo, who gets a block and is thrown out of bounds. As great play there by Blatherwick on the run. Having to make that throw. Good one. And that's going to move the chains. It's the Rebels' first down.
Well, there you go. He's a little bit quicker than Ethan. And that changes how the defense has to defend you now. And so that might be the little secret to get a little spark into the Rebels with the quarterback change. And that was a nice little pass, too. A right-handed quarterback moving to his left and slinging it across for the reception.
First down, and it's going to be a draw play. No, it's going to be Blatherwick on the hold, and he's going to be brought down by Savian Townsend behind the line of scrimmage. That is going to be a loss of yardage. Looks like Blatherwick went to the RPO one too many times, and that time didn't fool the Raider defense, and that's going to be a loss of yardage.
Yeah, well, that's what you do your job, and Savion's job there was just to make sure that he gets across the line of scrimmage as quickly as he can without making the knifing inside. Take the outside away.
Blatherwick on second and long, trying to throw. Here comes the pressure, and it looks like going to be a hold against the offense, so it's a free play. Nice throw by Blatherwick, though. Great catch there.
Got a hold here.
That was Josh Nevin.
Rebels.
But that is a holding penalty against the Rebels, and that's going to back them up. And just can't afford those kind of penalties at this juncture in the football game. So that's going to back up the Rebels even further, and Blatherwick going to need some more magic. But here on the replay, great job. Rolls out of the pocket. Great spiral. Right on the money. Great
it
throw.
Was a really nice pass. Unfortunately, the tackle held the defender, and it was right in front of the umpire, so he has to throw the flag on that.
Haven't seen Miles Blatherwick much. He's thrown, I think, 6 passes this year. But Miles Blatherwick, a native of Winnipeg, Manitoba, went to Nellie High School. And seeing his second game action so far here in the BCFC season here in Week 11, and looking pretty sharp here. But he's going to need a miracle here on second and very long. He's going to go deep down the sideline, and no one's home. As I think that was just a throwaway play, and the punt team out for the Rebels here late in the third quarter. And hopes of the comeback are slipping away here from the Rebels in their final home regular season game here, and what's looking like their final game here at Starlight.
No, I'm not ruling anything out. BCFC this year has been kind of funky with if this holds up, and the Valley's got a good football team, but I never thought they'd go into Langley last week and beat them, and no yards on that as well. So you just don't know. It's one of those things that you look at and you say, okay, that's kind of weird, but it is junior ball, and anything can happen. I got no yards. I think that's just a 5-yard variety because the ball was on the ground rolling backwards.
Yeah, and I wish I had the BCFC schedule on me to see Langley and Valley's final couple games. I know you mentioned that Valley's in Nanaimo next week. But the probability scenarios are not favoring the Rebels here for a home playoff date if this score doesn't turn around in a hurry.
Well, the Valley lost up in Kelowna tonight. I think it was 60-14. If the Rebels lose this game, the record will fall to 5-4. The Rams' record right now is 6-3.
Yeah.
So if the Rebels beat the Rams, they will go to 6-4.
Rams would be 6-4 as well.
6-4, but I don't.
But then it's down to points again.
Points for and against,
right?
But it'd be between the two teams, so the Rebels would have to make up 14 points. Yeah.
So it's still a probability, and who knows if Valley wins, then you have a 3-way tie next week too, because they'd all be 6-4.
That's true. And then, and you don't rule anybody out because every game and week to week is different. But the Rebels have been struggling offensively, like what we're seeing tonight. Last week.
Here is Ruben Bonsu. Oh, nearly broke Denis Moses in coverage, and would have had a big reception, but just in and out of the hands. And thinking you're starting to maybe double team number 8 in white if you're the Rebels defense.
Yeah,
here.
You got to be thinking because he is definitely the guy they've been going to this entire game basically, and that was just it went through his arms, so it was kind of like maybe he lost it. The defender got in his vision and just lost it a little bit.
So that incompletion brings up third down, and the Raiders going to punt this football away. Should mention the wind just picked up here at Starlight. It's been pretty calm here at Starlight all game, but the wind's starting to blister around a little bit here. We'll see how this affects this kick, and I think it's going to help it, as that's going to be Aiden Bytel, who's going to have to go back and get that football, and he's going to try and go up the left sideline. He's got a lot of white jerseys to break through, and he's pushed out of bounds just about near the 30, I think. Couldn't tell with the sideline where exactly the ball is going to be spotted, but Rebels get the football back here late in the third quarter.
2:40 to go. Again, put a drive together and come away with some points. But I know I've been saying that all evening, and they haven't been doing that. But again, it's an extension of the offensive struggles they've been having ever since the Rams game. And apparently the offense didn't play very well last week up in Kelowna. I didn't see any of the game tape, so it's I didn't really get a feel for what they were trying to do or had done.
Here is Blatherwick on first down looking to throw this one, and he's got Lyndon Williams on an island on the right side of the sideline, and he breaks a tackle. He's still going. No, he's ruled out of bounds. So still good gain of about 18, maybe 20. And that'll be a Rebels first down. In that game against Kelowna, their only offensive points were a field goal and a Fermi Akinlola pick 6 in the first half. So, and again, Picard only had 90 yards through the air and 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. So Sun defense probably one of the best in the league along with the Rams. And the Rams also shut them down pretty good here the week before that too. So
yeah, they certainly did.
It's been a rough go for the offense, but looking to catch a gear here is Blatherwick on first down. Good throw, good reception as that's Kwame Franklin. Gain of about 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
Blatherwick, he's kind of in a zone right now. He's throwing the ball well. His feet are active. He's moving his football team. Mind you, the Raiders are probably playing a little bit off, so they're not, like, okay, we're going to give you this, give you that, without the big one. But any positive offensive plays right now are positive as far as being able to. They got a hold there on the Rebels.
So Miles Blatherwick takes it himself, a big run. But as we've come accustomed to with this Rebels football team, a big play usually means a flag somewhere in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage. And there is a Raiders player down on the play, as it was another hold, I believe.
Yeah, just as he got outside. They're right there. So that's going to move it back 10 yards to bring up a second down on about
10 yards from the
16.
previous line. Repeat second down.
And I believe that's the Raiders punter that's down and off, getting off the field there. Is that Sterling Henry?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So hopefully he's all right. On their special teams and on defense, multifaceted player for the Raiders.
Yeah, looks like an arm, shoulder maybe.
So after the penalty, it's 2nd and long, 2nd and about 13. And it looks like a timeout has been called by the Raiders.
Yeah, I think they had too many men out, and they didn't want to take a penalty here to give the Rebels 10 yards to have their second, have their yards back for too many men on the field. But yeah, no, Blatherwick's doing, he's not too bad. He's come in here, he's getting his shot to play probably the whole second half. He's played the whole third quarter, so he's showing that he can play some football. So it's a confidence builder for himself, the players around him, so they get to say, hey, he's done a good job in real action. So if he has to make the turnaround to play, nobody's going to start to question, that we don't know this guy. We don't. We've never seen him in, under fire, but now they are. And so this could be a booster for the Rebels moving forward. But it's the winner of BC this year goes to the Prairies for the semifinal. And that's always a tough trip. To win on the Prairies, only been done a couple of times in the history of the game being played, and with the winner of that heading up to, you got to call that. That's definitely pass interference.
So Lyndon Williams gets the PI call as Savian Townsend was in coverage, and Blatherwick was blanketed in coverage, just barely got the throw off, but it's going to be a free play here, and it's going to be a automatic Rebels first down. As you see on the replay, it was more of a heave than I think a precise throw there by Blatherwick.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to get the ball. To take the ball out of his hands so he didn't take the sack, and unfortunately the Raiders defender just got a little bit too tight and aggressive to go into the football.
Again, the wind coming in here. It says it's 11 degrees, but it feels more like 5 or 6. It's the wind off the ocean, I think, is breezing in here to Starlight, and it's getting pretty chilly here as on first down. It's a handoff to Ryan Vincent as he makes a couple cuts up the middle, gain of about 5, maybe 6. As we haven't seen a lot of Ryan Vincent on the handoffs lately, and there's a late flag. Looked like the official was looking at the Rebels while he threw it.
Somebody said something. I would suspect unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, objectionable conduct penalty.
Penalties, penalties, penalties.
Well, they do lead the league, and they continue to, like they're not ashamed of it.
And more officials being called in here, which makes me think it's maybe something a bit either more serious or...
Or it could be, if you receive 2 objectionable conduct penalties in a game, you're automatically ejected. So that could be what they're checking is are they coming over objectionable conduct? Okay, no, it's just the 1. But again, you just had a nice play there to put yourself in a position to get a first down.
Conduct, number 68 on the offense. 10 yards from the end of the run, second down.
So, put your back in a second down and 14 rather than a second down and 4. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating for the coaches. It's frustrating for some players around them when these things happen, because everybody's competitive and you want to have some positive results. And when you're moving backwards, that's not real positive.
So 2nd and about 14 here. We need some more Blatherwick magic, and he's going to roll out, and here's the pressure, and that was a screen pass meant for Ryan Vincent, but well incomplete, and punt team back out here for the Rebels, and drawing near dead here at the end of the 3rd quarter with the amount of points they need to make up here to pull off a comeback.
Yeah, Aiden Stain came off the edge there for the Raiders and put pressure on Blatherwick too quick, and they had to just threw the ball into the ground.
So here is Gio Lanuzzi going to kick this ball away here for the Rebels. It's a good booming kick. And Harmon Ahuja going to return this one near his 20-yard line, looking for some blocks, but the return team there by the Rebels doing a good job to get Ahuja down early on the blind side.
That was a really nice kick, and that was good and high. It was one of those ones that allows the cover team to get down before the ball is into the receiver's hands to limit the return, which they only got maybe 6 yards on that return.
And that was Bryce Ruther on the tackle, and Ahuja looked like he lost a bit of wind on that one. One of those tough hits where you stop up, but the momentum just bowls you over by the time you hit the brakes.
True.
And can't really brace yourself for those kind of hits.
Here's another one we got.
It's another Wildcat
look.
And here is Ruben Bonsu looking to cut the edge on the left sideline. He's there. He's got some room to run, and he actually dropped the football, but it looks like the play was ruled down the moment that Bonsu went down, and the Raiders recovered it regardless. So that's a gain of about 15, and Ruben Bonsu continues to feast on this Rebels defense.
Yeah, he's had a really nice game. He's ran a couple of those little jet sweep things here, and we know he scored a couple of touchdowns and has caught a lot of passes. Boy, that ball was out before he went down. The Raiders recovered.
The Raiders recovered, but it was whistled down very early from what I saw. So.
Well, we also have the luxury of looking at a replay.
That's true. So this is the final play here of the 3rd quarter. And it's going to be another Wildcat play. Sadler-Smith on the bottom left of your screen. And this one going to be a direct snap run, and it's Rondé Lyle breaking some tackles down the sidelines and out of bounds past the 40 as Rondé Lyle does it himself, and the Raiders at this point just seem like they can't do any wrong.
And another Rebel down too, and somebody on the limp, and we're 62. Oops.
Did you just lose your
roster sheet? It was halftime stats.
Okay.
Just took off in the wind.
So I don't got to climb down and go get it. That's
no, fine. I'll climb over the edge and go get it.
Perfect. You know, it's funny. We've done games here since, I guess, May was probably our first game, or June. June was our first game, and I swear, every game we've done this year, Paul, it's been windy.
Yes. Yeah.
Every game. Spring, summer, or fall.
Even when it's hot.
Yes.
It's windy up here.
Can't catch a break. Maybe that means next year, though, when we come back, Paul, no windy games all year long.
That's true.
We're just getting them all out of the way.
And it doesn't look that windy.
No.
The flags behind us aren't really whipping or anything. But it is cool, too. I was contemplating wearing shorts.
Here is a funky play on first down, and it's going to work out down the sideline. Is he going to get there? No, he is not. Oh, what a play. I think they call that the Philly special.
Oh, they have to. Yeah, or something, because they had that set up beautifully, and there wasn't a ribble around the receiver at all. And sadly, you can see on the replay, to Romanoff, the Smith, boom, wide open. Just gets caught from behind. But the Raiders they're sitting at the 5-yard line, well in control, up 36-4. They can add to their point lead right now.
Here is first down, and that play, the Rebels defense snuffs it out. Not much to speak of there. So there's not sure if that was a loss of yardage, but it was near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like he lost about 5, no more than that. Yeah, 7 yards, I guess.
Loss of 5. And that's going to bring up second down. I'm just trying to catch a number there. Is Rondé Lyle going to be under center this time? No, it's going to be Sadler Smith. And Smith looking end zone. And that one is going to be, is that caught? That is caught for a touchdown. That's a one-handed grab.
Number 80. You got to be kidding me. Parker Moskrop, that was a nice catch. I'd love to see this. Here's the replay. You got one hand on this. Oh,
wow.
Oh, nice catch.
When it rains, it pours.
It does. It really does.
Parker Moskrop, take a bow.
I never thought that I would see 42 points, 43 points on the scoreboard for the visiting team this year against the Rebels. But again, you know, teams come to play, and the Raiders are improving every week. They've been improving. And the Rebels have been in a little bit of a funk for the last couple games. And sometimes things just don't work out which way you're thinking.
Parker Moskrop with a Odell Beckham-esque one-handed grab in the end zone makes it 43-4 VI Raiders. I did not think I'd say any of those sentences today, but I just have. Unbelievable. Maybe that's a one-word summary of this game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then, you know, you're, like you say, you're lost for words, and it's kind of like, how does this happen?
How did we get here?
Yeah, how did we get here, for sure?
John Boubard returns the kick. And he's going to get pretty good coverage here. He breaks about 4 tackles before being brought down near the 35. And Paul, I'm a firm believer in sliding doors, that, you know, one thing happens, another thing opens. How many sliding doors do you think had to happen for this game to be 43-4 for the VI Raiders? I mean, we're in like the 8th dimension at this point.
The Twilight Zone.
Yes, pretty much. That's where we've landed at this point.
Wow. Yeah, no, there are games like this. I've been and coached them, and you come away going, what happened? How did that happen? You know, and you never really get an answer for it, because coaches are always good at saying, okay, let's flush this one and we're moving on. Let's make sure that we take care of the next one. This one's over now, so let's take care of the next one. and you focus on that. But you do look at film to say, okay, what did we do? What mistakes did we make that we have to correct to be better? But sometimes it's just kind of like, okay, let's just close the book on this one and forget all about it.
And I'm not trying to knock on the VI Raiders for the football team that they've put together this year, because I do think that with Andrew Harris coming in this year, and they're obviously building towards something bigger, is here's a big long throw for Kwame Franklin that he catches that one as Kwame up past the 40 makes the big reception. So big catch for number 11, who we haven't said his name nearly enough today, but that time Blatherwick hooks up with his big receiver. But to finish my thought on the Raiders, I mean, they're obviously building towards something better than this year. I mean, they're not in the playoffs. They've only won a couple games. But this has to be their crowning achievement of this season.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, and it's one of those things that you keep working, you're going to have an opportunity to be on the positive side of games like these. And the Raiders dominated the league for so long, and other than the Okanagan Sun, they had a couple years where they didn't dominate, but the Sun have always been good. But all the other teams are in cycles, and the Raiders are on the bottom cycle right now, and the Rebels are on the top cycle. But here you go, another nice play, but they got another penalty, and it's just one of those things that those are the things that kill you. You get that penalty, and you can talk about it.
Number 8 on
But
the
at
offense,
the end of the
10
day,
yards, replay first down.
You don't correct that mistake for committing that penalty. It's just the cycle continues. And that's where the Rebels seem to be stuck in this funk. These last 3 games, they committed a lot of fouls, and they're doing it game after game after game, and I'm sure it hasn't helped, because it certainly hasn't helped tonight.
So after the penalty, it's now 1st and 20 near the 50. And Blatherwick looking to his left, going to throw this one, and it is caught. Nope, incomplete. Ball touched the ground. So that was Blair Van Brunshot. That's a fun name to say. He was trying to rein that in, but touched the ground, and that's going to be incomplete, 2nd and long.
Yeah, and again, it's Blatherwick's having his opportunity, and so far he's been looking pretty darn good. I think he's thrown the ball well. His feet are really active, and he's been able to run. You get the cast of characters around him to, settle down, and I say put this game behind you and start focusing on the Rams.
Here is 2nd and very long, a throw that nearly gets complete as Kwame Franklin trying to beat the secondary. Had a lot of players there, and Kwame Franklin takes a
stupid penalty.
Yeah, you said it well there, Paul.
No need for that. That was after the play, so now they're going to push them back 10 yards, and it'll be still 3rd down. You don't get the down over on a post-play penalty. And again, that's a composure thing. That's a discipline thing. You don't need that. For the Raiders, though, they'll take this game, the positive aspects of it. They're feeling good about themselves and say, can we beat Valley next week? We're hosting our last home game of the year. It's the last game of the year for us. We're not in the playoffs. Let's beat Valley. It could be a positive thing. Valley's coming off probably a crushing defeat up in Kelowna tonight. So it's one of those that both teams are going to learn from it and build from it. One positive, one negative. Try to get back to positive.
Yeah, each team has 3 letters they can probably take away from this game. If you're the
rough play, number 11.
Oh, rough play.
West Shore. That's an ejection. 25 yards, 3rd down.
Kwame Franklin out of the game. Finish my thought. Three letters for each team. If you're the Raiders, it's LFG. I'll let you do the putting that together. And if you're the Rebels, it's WTF.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I won't say the words on air, but that's probably the motto for each of these teams out of this game.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Kwame, that ejection could cost him playing next week. It goes to the BCFC Rules and Discipline Committee, and they look at all the game ejections. And this year, there's been a lot of players suspended because of the rough play stuff, especially late in the game in the fourth quarters. And so those are things you got to look at as well. And yeah, it's just, you just don't want to see the game deteriorate into, that type of behavior. And the Rebels have taken a no yards penalty on this one as well. That'd be a 5-yard style.
Well, and one of the things I think too, Paul, is that you learn to win, but you also have to learn to lose. And this Rebels program hasn't really had to learn to lose a lot in recent years. And I think that's what this game maybe comes down to, is just learning that adversity, learning how to conduct yourself if you're down by 40 points. They haven't had to do that, right? Because they've been such a successful program the last couple of years.
No yards. Kicking team, 5 yards from the end of the run, first down.
But now you're into that territory. Okay, you're down 40 points. We still got to finish a football game. You still got to conduct yourself. You still have to, be sportsmanlike, be a player, and not let your emotions get the better of you, as hard as that can be when you're frustrated being down 30 or 40 points.
Absolutely. And it's also, you look at the entire package. Fans don't want to sit through a game that's ugly, as far as, like with a lot of penalties or fights or things like that. And so you have to buy the package. And then same thing with sponsors. Will somebody sponsor a team that, act like a bunch of, thugs, if you will? Not saying these guys are, but, that type of thinking. And so you got to build the program and say, we're going to be in the community. We're going to do positive things in the community, and how we conduct ourselves on the field will be a reflection on how we do in the community. And yeah, it's tough. It's difficult. You're dealing with, different personalities, and, trying to forge a team with players from all across the country and around the world, really, with all the international players now. And
here's Paul Romanoff on the screen pass, and he gets it about 15, maybe 20 yards on the reception, taking a big hit from Isaiah Boutin. And now we could have another ejection as Ted Wyndham Jr. threw a punch at the sideline, and it looks like his night is done as well. And, it's one of those things, Paul, I've had the pleasure of being around this team as Ted makes a very vocal exit to this game, and there you see at the end of the play, I mean, the 3 players that have been ejected for the Rebels tonight, Kamari Barney, Kwame Franklin, Ted Wyndham Jr., I met them all at practice. They've all been great guys, and it's one of those things where emotions get the better of you, and you turn to a vile form of yourself that you're not really, it's not you. It's not who you are. And unfortunately for the Rebels, they've gone away from who they are today.
Yeah, absolutely. They certainly have. And it's a shame, because now this game's deteriorating to where, like, again, if Ted's been kicked out, I'm waiting for the official signal here.
After the play, rough play, throwing a punch. Number 9, West Shore.
That's the second time
25
he's
yards
done that.
The run,
he's already
down.
missed a game because of doing that. So it's you got your most important game coming up next week, and there could be 3 of your most key guys sitting on the bench not being able to play. So it's the Rules and Discipline Committee of the BCFC are certainly going to be busy just from this game this evening. I think it's the first time there's ever been 3 guys on the same team kicked out on 3 different plays throughout the whole game.
And, I mean, if you're the Rebels, you've now handed your whole season to the Raiders. I mean, it's one thing to lose the game, but if you're going to also set yourself up for the next game.
Correct.
Well, the Raiders have now picked up 2 wins in one game. Yeah. They've knocked you out of a home playoff game. You're going to go to the Apple Bowl in the first round, and it's because your top players have let the game get the better of them.
Yep. Yeah, they let their emotions take over. And, because you're always in life, you're going to be at the end of this score on the wrong side of it. And you're also going to be on the good side of it. And that's how you conduct yourself, and, with your emotions and everything that you're about is going to define who you are.
Here is Sadler Smith going to throw to the end zone, intercepted in the end zone. So a good defensive play there. I think that's Aiden Bytel, number 19 for the Rebels, making the defensive play. So that's going to be a turnover there. Great job there by the Rebels secondary, and prevents more points being put on the board.
Yeah, I think Sadler, he was just was backing away when he threw it, and I think he forced it. I think they were looking at 50 points put up on the Rebels. We can put 50 points up on the Rebels here at Starlight Stadium. And they tried to force that in there, but a good play by Vitale to get the interception.
So 9:26 on the clock. And a good traveling crowd of Raiders faithful cheering on their team in what's been a dominant performance today, as Blatherwick on first down going to throw. Kaya Saunders was in coverage, just out of reach for him, as that's Kevin Ronaldo da Silva with the reception, number 83.
That was, yeah, good catch. Saunders almost got his fingertips on that to knock it away.
So that's going to bring up second and about 4. Blatherwick takes the snap, and it's going to be another RPO that he's going to take himself, and he's got enough for the first down. So Blatherwick getting it done with his feet. It's a gain of about 10, and that's going to move the chains. It's a Rebels first down.
That was not bad. It was a nice little play. It was a good little misdirection on that one. And he got what he could get on the ground. See here, it was a nice fake. He drew 93 inside, and he just gets outside. It's on the ground. Clock's running 8:19, but put a little drive together. Come, we get a touchdown. Get something positive on the board to where you say, okay, we did this at the end. Let's build upon that.
That's Ryan Vincent with a good run. It's a gain of about 6, maybe 7, and that brings up second and 4.
Rebels are trying to hide the quarterback. Maybe there's some conspiracy thoughts that the Rebels think that the Raiders have stolen their signals. Maybe that was a nice run.
Here's Miles Blatherwick.
Nice.
Keep going, young fella. That's a gain of about 20, and when Blatherwick hasn't been doing it over the air, he's been doing it with his legs. That's another big first down, and there's a Raider down behind the play, so that's gonna stop play, and we'll
that's one.
Take a look. 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
and down on his own.
Nice run. Just just making it happen. Make it happen. He's getting his chance, and he's doing something.
So as we take this break with 7:25 left to go, and if this is indeed our last game at Starlight Stadium, we just want to thank everyone who's tuned in, whether it's through BCFC TV, TELUS Optic, who's tuned in with us this year to be along the ride through the journey with us, with Paul, with myself, with the rest of our Roll Focus team that's put together all these broadcasts for both the Rebels and the Raiders this year. So we'll have one last final broadcast as the VI Raiders are at home next week. But again, we touched on it earlier, Paul, but we were here until November last year with the Canadian Bowl, the magical run that the Rebels went on, the Cullen Cup Championship, and it's been another fun year.
Yeah, and it's junior ball. It's exciting. It's good entertainment, and it deserves its place within the sporting community, and it's finally. I guess it got its following in town. It's taken a long time, but people now view the Rebels sort of how they view the Royals or the Harbor Cats. They want to go and come and see the games, and so I think that's the positive part. And Royal Focus has been huge on that, because the exposure throughout the country when the BCFC first started broadcasting games was huge. And now all 3 conferences in the CJFL broadcast all the games, and that was all the start basically with Royal Focus, which has been tremendous.
So I'm sure as we get towards the end of this football game, we'll give shout-outs to everyone who makes this possible. But, Paul, you're a big piece of that, so personally want to say thanks again for joining on this year. Again, you did it all last year up until your services were required for the Canadian Bowl, so unfortunately you weren't available for that one. But you still got on the panel at the halftime show. And
that's true, yes.
You are really the the big part that makes this thing go in terms of our team, because you are just a historian of the game. You've been around it forever, and I'm just so lucky to have you really steer the ship up here for us. So thanks again for another year of doing this with me.
You're welcome, and I appreciate that. That's very kind to say, but I like this, and I personally think that we're a pretty good team, you know. I do. I just think that we kind of hit it off the very first time. You know, we felt comfortable with each other. So, I enjoy it.
Hopefully the second of many years that we can do this every year. And
yeah, absolutely. And it just, you know, and we're highlighting players and, you know, an opportunity for players that have come to Victoria that live elsewhere, for their parents to watch, their friends to watch, family to watch, you know, and that's important to them, and that's what it's all about. This is about the kids. The game's about developing young men and to be the leaders, and we've got to do whatever we can to make them leave this sport, because they're only in it for, you know, maximum 5 years, and probably the average is 3, to where the memory of playing junior football is something they'll carry with them forever. You know, I think that's very, very important. Boy, this wind's really picked up now.
Yeah, it has. And just to finish your thought, Paul, I mean, just to see like a player like, you know, Kieran Passant last year, you know, who, you know, we saw him in his first year really break out, and, you know, last year, you know, was a great year for him until he got injured late in the season there. But now to go to the BC Lions and make that jump to pro, I mean, for both the Rebels organization and the BCFC, I mean, that's just a huge proof of the product of that you can come to the BCFC, and if you put in the work, if you know, work hard enough, if you do well enough,
yes,
there's a pathway to pro.
Absolutely.
At this level, I think is super important, and even for us to witness, you know, Kieran and I mean, he's just a stand-up guy. If you ever met Kieran Passant, he's a stand-up citizen first and foremost, just a great guy, but secondly, he's a great football player, and he you know, got his start here on this field, and now he's building his path to watching him on TV on TSN playing for the BC Lions. I think is an incredible story, and something that I hope we see more of from this league going forward.
Oh, absolutely. And there's players sprinkled throughout the entire CJFL that get an opportunity to come step right out of junior into the CFL. And again, for some of these players, that option is there for them, that opportunity. We have about 18 guys every year across the CJFL invited to the CFL Combine, and out of that some get invited to camp, and a guy like Kieran makes it. But the other thing is, it opens doors for college for some of these guys to go to school,
right?
And or players that never thought about going to school, that they now have the opportunity. I can go to school, so they, you know, it's kind of buckle down and do their thing. But then also just in the general sense, you know, we have a lot of ex-players that became firefighters, policemen, you know, community workers. Just, you know, they sprinkle themselves throughout the community and throughout cities doing some positive things, and I think that part of that is they take with them is the discipline of junior football.
So here is Blatherwick on 2nd and long. He's going to throw, and that's going to be incomplete, as he was looking for Josh Nevin as his intended receiver. And it looks like the field goal unit going to come out here and try and tack on a couple more points here late in the fourth quarter. We're just shy of the 5-minute mark here, and
well, that wind's blowing pretty good.
Yeah, apologies to the viewers at home who are having to listen to the wind noise coming through our microphone headsets. We're trying the best we can, but feels like we're not in a hurricane up here, but it is blistery for sure. And that might play into this kick here. We'll wait and see, as the wind is against Charlie Wiersma from where we're standing, I believe. And the kick is going to be wide left.
The wind definitely pushed that one.
And Savian Townsend going to try and get out of his end zone, and he will. And some extra tackling. Wait, it's a fumble recovery touchdown. So the Rebels get into double digits here. As we'll have to see a replay on that. We couldn't see it from where we were. but that's Miles McPherson who gets on the football, and that's going to be a score. So here's the replay from our end zone camera that's always operated by the one and only Derek Munch. As Townsend gets past the goal line and ball gets ripped out. It's a rip fumble, and right onto the ball is McPherson. So great play there by Miles McPherson.
Good on them. They, keep playing, keep going. Things will happen.
So Wiersma out to kick the extra point. Should also mention Derek Munch going to be shooting a Canucks game next week. So that's going to be, so make sure you give Derek Munch a high five. He's shooting the Canucks and Flyers in a couple weeks.
Beautiful.
So
good
give
for
him a good thumbs up. One of our veteran camera guys here at Roll Focus, been here since day one and getting the call to the big leagues.
That's great. That's awesome.
So the kick is up and through, and I like to. I wouldn't call Derek Munch a rookie in the game, but the BCFC also gives opportunities to some of the, even people that are in management, photographers, videographers that get their start also in the BCFC. I mean, it's such a building ground for not only the players, but for staff, for, when you look at, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, but the head coach Dexter Janke last year.
Yeah.
Now is in collegiate because of what he did here. I mean, it's just the BCFC is such a building ground for such bigger things, and it definitely fills a void in this country, I think, in terms of where people can get their start, where people can build towards bigger things.
Absolutely.
So good to see across the board that it's just a pathway to something better.
Well, back in the early 2000s, we used to broadcast the BCFC games on the internet, but without video.
Right.
It was just like the radio. And Kelsey Braid, who went to TSN, that's where he started.
Right.
He did a couple years with us, and there was kind of didn't know, like you lose track of guys, and all of a sudden you're watching them on television, go, hey, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
and then
totally.
He said it helped them, and so it was, like you say, those things are just the positive aspect of sport in general, but obviously I'm biased towards the junior game and the game of football, and I have so many guys that I used to coach or associated with or know throughout other teams that are these big in the community and just the leaders today. So I feel good about that. I feel like I want to be around it because of that. Oh, I guess another concern Coach Townsend would have is with this game tonight. Last week they didn't score an offensive touchdown against the Sun, and they haven't scored an offensive touchdown in this one.
That's
so
correct.
There are some things you got to work on. And
that is correct. And there was that fumble strip that was in the special teams. It was a field goal try that was wide left and a strip fumble at the goal line that Miles McPherson got on top of for the score. As here's another Wildcat play as Rondé Lyle's going to be snapped up, and that is McPherson again. So number 32 having a big game here, and that's a loss of about 3. We'll see where the ball is spotted, but the clock is now running, and we'll see what the Raiders will do here. I'm assuming they're going to probably try and protect Sadler Smith. He doesn't really have anything else left to do in this football game.
Yeah.
But he is on the field here, so let's see what happens.
He's a quarterback.
So he is still in the football game. And nearly an offside there by the receiver, as that is going to be Parker Moscrip on the reception. It's a short gain, and that's going to bring out the punt team on 3rd down.
Yeah, I just punted away. The clock's rolling down to the 3-minute warning. Yeah, so the Rebels, they got to find that space to say, okay, what's been happening? Let's correct it, and then they got to get into Langley next week. They have a chance to, even with this loss this evening, to take second place, but the road just got a little bit tougher. And then the other concern they got to have is they have 3 important football players that were ejected from this game, and what the outcome will come of that, if they'll be suspended for next week's game or not.
Here is the punt. And it's a good one. And Gio Lanuzzi going to have to really run to his right, and it takes a bad hop, and he's going to have to pick this one up. And he's going to run up the middle. It's going to be a no yards penalty here against the Raiders. So ball will be spotted probably near the 40 by the time all is said and done. And I believe, yeah, so that's going to be the way the cookie crumbles there. And the offense will come out probably for the last time today, but we'll wait and see how this shakes out.
Yeah, it's just not gonna be smart here for both teams. They want to do something dumb. You know, this is where a lot of times where a lot of the talking is expanded upon with a fist or a foot, and so more guys thrown out of the game.
Past the 3-minute warning, and on first down, it's going to be Kevin Ronaldo da Silva, and he is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage as Savian Townsend gets past the blocking and makes the tackle. And that's going to bring down 2nd and long. And as we're winding down the minutes in this football game, just want to give a big shout out to our whole Roll Focus crew that's been with us all year. Nikki Haysom directing most of the games. Morgan Miles has done a couple of them. We've got Yaro Shavchenko up top on our wide cam, Orlando Carrillo on the field, Derek Munch, as we mentioned earlier, and Bob Baker on graphics, and the reliable Scott Myler on the replay. So thanks, guys, for always being at your best here at Roll Focus when we've been doing these games, and we look forward to doing this again next year. As that 2nd down play went nowhere.
Yeah,
so that's going to bring the punt team out.
Got a sack on it, and it's one thing that the Raiders have done all evening is they've been able to put pressure on the quarterbacks, and I'm not sure how many sacks they had, probably 3 or 4, but just enough to, again, you know, you've got some indecision sometimes when they get sacked. And again, a frustration part for the coaches to say, okay, boy. But again, the Rebels, they've got some of the injury part is based on the linemen, and that's going to always put a lot of pressure on the young offensive linemen that replace the starters. I was surprised there wasn't a flag on that for contacting the kicker. But
I thought the same thing, Paul, but looks like the flags are staying in pockets. Maybe the refs just want to get this game moved along without any more incidents. But regardless, the ball will be spotted near the 30 on the Raiders side of the field.
I think you just might see a Giancola now just hanging on to the football and get this clock going and get the game over.
There's us in the booth again. Thanks again for having us all year. Thanks, Morgan, for putting us on camera. It's windy up here, but again, we thank everybody for tuning in with us this year. I'll get Morgan back for that later. Here's a first down run down the sideline. It's Rondé Lyle, and he is going to be brought down, but not before a big gain of about 15. That's going to be a Raiders first down.
Yeah, that was a nice run. That's one of the first times tonight that he got outside, but I think he got outside because the Rebels want to get in the change room and put this game behind them.
And again, for the Rebels, they'll drop to 5-4 on the season, and that puts them in a tricky spot. They're a game behind the Rams, who they play next week on the road. So they will need to beat the Rams, beat them by 14 points or more to beat the tiebreaker against the Rams. And then the Valley Huskers are in Nanaimo next week, and they are 5-4 as well. So if the Huskers win and the Rebels win next week, we have a 3-way tie for second place, and that's going to be a fun one to decipher with all the tiebreakers involved. But regardless, it's going to be a fun finish to the BCFC season, so lots of reasons to tune in next week to see where everything finishes up.
Yeah, you bet. And it's one of those things that, when you're involved in the league, it's the way you want it to come down. You want to have it settled now rather than 3 weeks in. That's That's the way it started to look like too. So now again, congratulations to the Raiders. You know, they got 2 wins in a row. It's been a while since they put back-to-back wins together, and it's just one of those things that the Rebels are in the playoffs. They're going to move on. The Raiders are done. They're not going to be playing after next weekend. So build upon what they've learned this year, and you know that's coming in here and beating the Rebels will help them recruit players. And for the Rebels, it's just, you know, let's keep going. We're building. We're doing our thing because they were hit with a good crop of graduation heading into this year, and it just settling out and settling in and make things happen. But correct this offensive stalemate what they're in right now for next week and for the playoffs, and then see how far you can go.
So the Raiders, sorry, too many R's in this league. Raiders, Rams, Rebels.
Yeah.
Raiders going to kick this ball away on 3rd down, 3rd and 5, and it's a good kick, and Aiden Bytel has to go way back to get this one, and having some real trouble kicking up this football, and he is going to be brought down in a heap. That's Owen Giancola, the running back on the special teams unit, and that is just an encapsulation of this football game and how it's played out today.
Giancola got down there really fast, but the ball hit the ground, and then he had a tough time picking it up. It was bouncing and just couldn't grab it. And Giancola gets the hang of the jersey and just swings him down to the ground. So the Rebels get 55 seconds here to run a couple plays, starting at their own 7-yard line. 43-11. Never ever thought.
Nope. The silence speaks words. The silence speaks words. Miles Blatherwick on 1st down here. Get a hand off to John Boubard, who has a bit of room to work with here, and he is going to be brought down, but not before a gain of about 17. So good, healthy run there by John Boubard, who throws the ball past the official after being pumped up on the 1st down run. And the clock stops at 47 seconds. It'll be clocked in the moment they get the ball.
He was
set.
John really got on his horse there. He was moving and grooving, and you see in the replay his body was getting upfield quickly, and he was making some nice little hip moves there to create that hole.
Like the Roadrunner. Motors always churning, and now the clock starts. Blatherwick gets his receivers in motion, takes the snap, and it's another handoff. Why not? Give it back to Boubard, and he's going to keep those motors running down the left sideline and going to be tackled out of bounds just before the 1st down marker. As that was a good tackle there, and just trying to get a license plate on that. That's Oren Blackmore making the tackle there for the Raiders, and that's going to bring up 2nd and short.
Yeah, second up with his good run. It's a long way to run for John to pick up 9 yards. Savion Brown was right on his tail as well, trying to force him to the sideline.
And here is 2nd down. Blatherwick going to throw this one quickly, and incomplete. Went in and out of the hands of 2 receivers, I believe. And that one going to bring up 3rd and short. And it looks like the offense going to stay out there. With 25 seconds remaining in this football game. Again, a game no one could have scripted.
Not at all.
But here we are. And in the long list of Raiders, Rebels history, this one will go down as maybe a turning point in where this series will go, as Boubard again on a big run on 3rd down. Gain of about 20. There is a flag down. So we'll see what that is. But this play could be coming back. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that would be. Unless it's a hold against the Rebels, but holding Rebels, yeah. So that's after yards gained, so that'll come back 10 yards, but it will be 1st down.
Holding on the offense. After the 1st down was made, 10 yards to the point of the ball, 1st down.
It's not a back him up a ways, but not too far. as the celebrations are already on the Raiders sideline. Again, the crowning win for the Raiders this year, who have been building for the last couple of years. Again, they've taken their lumps. They've deserved this win in terms of how they came to play today. And last year I think we were here, Paul, for a 97-12 game. I think they nearly got 100 put on them last year.
Yes.
They've taken their lumps, and for them to have this one victory, and again, they might have another chance next week to make it 3 in a row, as John Boubard, I think, is hurt on this play.
Yeah, he met him pretty quick.
So hopefully he's going to be all right. But again, the Raiders, they've taken their lumps, and it looks like, this year they've built themselves to 3 wins, maybe 4 if they can get one next week, and building on to bigger and better things. So kudos to the Raiders program for coming in here today in a game that no one would have thought that they would have won, but let alone won by 32, which is what they're currently up by. I mean, it's quite a statement.
It is. I would, like you, I'm kind of lost for, where did this come from? And the teams, the Raiders and the Rebels aren't that far apart. They're not. It's not a 43-11 Raiders side of it, and but sometimes things work to where it all just clicks. Everything falls into place for this one time, and for the Raiders, it's special because it's on Rebel soil against the Rebels, and they're number one rival. So that's why they're so happy. They're just we've come into Victoria or West Shore, and we have put the leather to these guys. And the Rebels have to be thinking, what the heck? What's happening to our program over these last few weeks? There's something missing. And I go back to injuries, key injuries. But you got to give the Raiders credit for coming in here and playing a game like they have, taking advantage of the Rebels' penalties and turnovers. And the Rebels just really haven't found their funk. They're stuck in not slow motion, but just to where things aren't clicking and working like you'd expect them to.
John Boubard is up, and that's a very good sign, so hopefully he's going to be all right. And I said the sliding doors thing, or the 8th dimension, whatever we're in, but it's almost like Monopoly. When you roll a 6, it's like, okay, you can't roll a 6 again. You roll a 6 again. Okay, roll a 6 again, you go to jail, right? If that were the case, I think the Raiders would be in a high state penitentiary prison at this point in Monopoly. They would have rolled 8 6s by now in a row.
Yeah, good analogy, yes.
It's just been one of those games where it's like, really? There's no way. There is a way. One-handed catches? There's a way. It's just like bizarro world here. So here is the last snap of this football game, and Blatherwick going to dump it off here to Josh Nevin, and he is going to be tackled, and that is the final play of this football game. In something that I did not expect to wake up today and witness, we have all witnessed, and the VI Raiders have come to Starlight Stadium and blown out the West Shore Rebels by a score of 43-11. The Rebels scored no offensive touchdowns today. They kicked 1 field goal. They had 1 special teams touchdown on a fumble recovery. And, Paul, we've been searching for words all game, and I still don't know if I have words to encapsulate how this football game played out.
Because when it's the way it started, the Raiders were running a lot of that wildcat stuff, and with Sadler Smith flanked out wide, and it's like, why? You get one of the better quarterbacks in the league, use them, and the Rebels just didn't click. There's nothing working. And, excuse me, and I think the Raiders took advantage of, like I said, the penalties and the turnovers. But the Rebels are just stuck in this little funk now for 2 games with no offensive touchdowns. The 3rd loss in a row, which hasn't happened for quite a while. And I think the coaches are searching for answers, and then the players start questioning themselves. And that's where you get some of that frustration happening. And we saw that tonight with players kicked out, and just where they just couldn't get any momentum to take them to the next, not level, but just positive stride, I guess is the only way I could say it.
Well, that might spell the end of our season here at Starlight Stadium. We'll wait and see how things play out in the next week. But if we don't see you next in the playoffs, that is, we hope you've enjoyed tuning in to BCFC football here at Starlight Stadium. Again, for Paul Short, I'm Tyler Bennett, and from the rest of the Roll Focus crew, we'd like to thank you for tuning into our broadcasts all year, and we hope we can see you soon. But if it's next season, we hope we see you then. Until then, be excellent to each other. Have a good night.